What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of FlagPlus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm your host, Brent Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie Maule.
All right, so we've been teasing it now for the last, I want to say, 11, 12 weeks in some cases. But finally, the playoffs are here, the most exciting time in all of football, and specifically here in FlagPlus Football. We have a lot of games, a lot of divisions to talk about, so let's just hop into it right now. We're going to start with Division E1, which kicked off the playoff action this past Sunday.
Yeah, so for E1, we pretty much there's no buys in E1. So pretty much it goes first seed versus 8th seed and then 4 on. So I got to see the two first seeds play versus the 7th and 8th seed. So I got to see Toon Squad play Baston, which pretty much Toon Squad was in control the whole time. They were kind of scoring with will, and they had win that game 46-30. Baston did score here and there, but it was to a point where Toon Squad just looked way better than Baston, and it kind of makes sense. The reason why Toon Squad finished their season set 9-1, and they're just scoring in will, and it's to a point where they got to stop here, they got to stop there, and they won that game by 16 points. Going to the next game, which was pretty much played at the same time, I was kind of going back and forth because I played a game at 10, and I played a game at 9. That game played at 10. We had Shintinos and Benetos. They played South Shore Crashouts. So we had the 2nd seed versus the 7th seed, and we actually had an upset where South Shore Crashouts ended up losing that game 32-27. So this game was to be honest, it was going back and forth, a lot of defensive stops, and then South Shore Crashouts, they kind of lived to their name because they actually did crash out. You had two guys, one guy is to a point where Benito's, I think it was 3rd down, and the quarterback threw a post corner or a corner route to one of the receivers, incomplete. The ball was so high in the air, no one was catching it. Okay, the defender from South Shore Crashouts decides to showboat, looks the player at he's on the floor, guy kind of jumps, the ball's uncatchable. So the guy from South Shore Crashouts kind of looks at him, goes like this, and then ends up locking him, but stuff that was stuff that was unnecessary. So they got a taunting penalty, and then a taunting play, and then after that the guy said something, so he got 10 plays after. So he was out for 10 plays. Benito's ended up getting an automatic first down. So instead of being 3rd and 10 at I think they're at the 12-yard line, they got 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. They ended up scoring, and then the guy that got hurt, the guy that got the 10 plays was one of their good players as well too. So he had to be off for 10 plays, and then one of their other players ended up getting a penalty too during the same drive, a contact penalty. So they're just to be honest with you, they were just crashing out. And then it's to a point where Benito's ended up scoring down the stretch, and then they got to stop, and they won that game 32-27. That's a huge upset because, to be honest with you, South Shore Crashouts, athletic wise, way better team. This team is a bunch of guys that play for McGill currently, and I'm pretty sure they all play right now. So there was a big difference. It's just Benito's kind of remained cool, remained calmed, and they just kind of were just having fun with it. They weren't going crazy as much. When they won the game, they were screaming and they're super loud, but during the game, it was a normal game for them. And then I think South Shore Crashouts were just kind of taking it to the next level. They're kind of saying to the other guys too, I kind of heard yo, you don't play football. And the guy was just yeah, I play, it's flag. He's yeah, okay, yeah, of course you don't play tackle football. Just, when a tackle football player is kind of getting aggressive because it's not going their way, and they're oh, if this was tackle, it would be so much different. But it's not tackle. It's we're playing touch, don't get me wrong. I'm a tackle player. You're a tackle player. So I can understand the frustration, but you can't be oh yeah, if this was tackle football, it'd be so much different. But buddy, it's not tackle football. You're playing flag football, And again, I'm saying, Crashouts, they finished the season 9-1. They were pretty much dominant the whole year. The only team that they end up losing against was Toon Squad, which is the 9-1 seed. And again, Toon Squad is a veteran team. They've been playing for a while. That group of guys, was kind of fun. You get to see their pictures sometimes. I think a lot of them updated it, but it's baby pictures to a point where they played FPF Junior, and now they're now they're playing in adult league, whatever. So again, it's a team that's been playing for a while. So it's a like that for them to lose that game makes sense. But other than that, like there's no reason why South or Crash Outs should have lost this game. It like even the stuff that they did and like on the unnecessary penalties and stuff like that. There's still no reason for them to lose the game. But we had our first pretty much upset where the 7 seed knocked out the 2 seed.
So it's interesting. Obviously looking at this upset you're talking about, right? So obviously, you said some of these guys play like from McGill. I have some of these guys I know. I'm going up to training camp next week to check them out for the first time before the preseason starts. They're playing, I think, UFT McGill is. I'm gonna go check them out next week at training camp, and I'll be talking to some of these cats. Like it's just interesting. I've seen that. I've been guilty of doing that myself when I was closer, like from retiring from playing tackle to getting into flag. I would say that comment too a couple of times when I was closer to the end of my career, not the end of my career, but when I first retired from playing tackle. But yeah, Mathis Pilon, so that's a guy that's just stud at McGill. He's one of the guys on this team. I know there's looking at it here, yeah. There's another name I might have saw on this list here. My apologies. I'm drawing a blank. And sorry, there's another guy on this team I know that plays McGill. I can't think of his name. I'm looking at the list right now and it's not coming to me. But anyways, Thomas Ashland, well, he only played one game, but he's honest. He's on McGill as well. But yeah, I mean that's an excuse that a lot of tackle guys use. Like I said, I've used it myself back in the day a long time ago, and I know some guys that have used it more recently. And that's an excuse. Listen, you're getting your butt kicked, you're getting your butt kicked. Yes, obviously tackle, you can be more physical, you can do a lot of stuff, but this is flag football, right? It's a different sport, different game, shall we say? And again, you got beat, right? It doesn't matter whether it's tackle or flag. Getting beat is getting beat, right? And it's not going to say if at the end of the season, it's not going to say like for social crash outs, right? If they win the championship, it's not going to be like, hey, you guys won the championship, but it only kind of half counts because it's flag, or the same thing for their opponents, right? Who they just lost to, sorry, who just beat them. It's not going to say, oh, you guys beat social crash outs, even though you won the championship, but you guys only got past social crash outs because it was flag, not tackle. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Take care of
exactly.
your business and make sure you come up with the W and don't talk like don't make excuses. Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay, so you see, there's another game you saw. You were saying, or
no, I saw the Baston game where they
yeah,
played two
yeah.
squad and two squad was just dominant, and then I saw the crash out game.
Okay. So that was Sunday, like I said, in Laval. I did Monday at Papineau as scorekeeping. So I saw two games. I saw a battle between the 3 and the 6 seed. The 3 seed armed robbery, and the 6 seed practice squad 3. So I know a couple of guys on armed robbery. Obviously, the captain, Mike Collard, and the quarterback. He's one of the like most intense guys that I know. He's cool. Like I've never had a crossword with him ever. I think I've played against him once or twice before, but I've score kept a lot of his games. He's a good dude. Mike. Sorry, I'm going to pronounce. I don't want to butcher his last name. Mike Batty Babungi. He's played on my team a couple of times. He's a good dude as well. Julian McLaren Thompson subs on the team. He wasn't playing in this game, but a good group of dudes. Fabrice Trombley, the quarterback for practice squad 3. He's always a good dude. We always say what's up to each other and chat it up a bit. Anyways, these two teams went head to head, and I gotta say it was physical. I know we talked about last week about not fighting and stuff. There was almost a fight that broke out in this game, which you don't like to see. Now I want to say in the regular season, armed robbery whooped them. Armed robbery whooped practice squad 28-0. That was back in week 4. So obviously practice squad looking for a little revenge. But this time they scored one touchdown instead of none, losing 21-6. I gotta say, I've seen practice squad a lot, even going to last winter, the scorekeeping their games. Sam Samur, this guy's a stud. Number 15. This guy is a stud. He has speed. He has some good length. He catches everything. They got a guy, Charles Perrault, number 23. He wears like a LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers jersey. I know Cavs fans out there wish it was a current Cavs jersey with LeBron James's name on the back. But yeah, he's tough. They got some weapons, man. I like this team. Vincent Demare, number 19. What he lacks in height, he makes up for in speed and playmaking. Like there's some guys on this team, but they didn't bring their A game. They struggled to move the ball consistently at one point. So Samir actually, so there was An interception thrown by Fabrice Tremblay. So his second of the game was in the end zone. So number 5, Yalong Ku for on robbery went up to make a play. Him and Samir got there at the same time. They were wrestling for the ball. They went down to the turf, and then I didn't see a punch be thrown, but apparently Ku threw a punch at Samir. Samir got up and kicked him in the back. And so
Oh wow.
obviously both guys got OCs. Leo was one of the officials there, so he was on top of everything. Guys got OCs. They were kicked out for 10 plays, and it seemed like a practice squad. I've seen them play and I've seen them put up some points. They didn't have their A game offensively. Defensively, they made some plays. Just again, you can't score one touchdown in a playoff game. That you're gonna lose pretty much all the time unless you have like I don't know the Baltimore Ravens 2000 defense or like the Bears from the mid 80s. Like it's not gonna happen. So yeah, Mike Collar, shout out to those guys. They came out. They did their thing. He threw 3 touchdowns. He looked really good. Throwing the ball here, throwing the ball there, dipping and dabbing. Chunk plays a lot. Daniel DeFore, Spencer Riard, they made some plays. Yalon Ku in the passing game, he made some plays as well, right? So like, I like what I saw. They're aggressive. Like you can't play with Mike Collar to not be aggressive, and his
Mhm.
team was aggressive on both sides of the ball, and they got the W. Like I said, 21-6. So the 3 seed advances. I did it. The other matchup I scored kept was the battle between the number 4 seed Airs and the number 5 seed and that was underdogs. This also was a pretty decent game. I will say Ayers. So I'm gonna get to this in a second. Ayers was without their starting quarterback in that game. Duncan Cook, guy I've seen a lot. For some reason, I think I've either score kept or been in the presence of Ayers in the entire season. I feel like every time I score keep, they have a game. It was a back and forth game for a while. It was an interesting game. I will say, obviously, underdogs got the win. Of course, when the team is missing a starting quarterback, it's never a good thing. It was a close game, 33-24 for underdogs. Just a couple performances quickly to sit off for me. So there's a brother on the team, Mathis, or my friend, Matthias, I think is how you pronounce it in French. I call him Matthias, but Matthias Cousineau. This
Okay.
dude's like bleach blonde hair. He impressed me. This guy, he had 1 catch for 40 yards and a touchdown, which okay, obviously is a deep bomb threat. But this guy was making plays on D. Like he had tight coverage. He had an INT. He always seemed to be around the ball. They had Hubert Noel, so a guy I know we've called some of his games in the championships. He had a
Mhm.
monster game, 7 catches, 147 yards, 3 TDs. He
Yeah,
obviously did his thing.
he's a
Yeah,
monster.
yeah. The kid's a monster. He needs to be playing in like Division C or 3 and up. It shouldn't
Mhm.
be playing any lower. It's a waste of his time, I think. Yeah, this kid could ball. They had some other guys, and like basically it was kind of a team effort. They have this team. I've seen them a lot underdogs. They have speed. I think a lot of them are tackle guys. I think the whole team is full of tackle guys, but they're aggressive, but smartly aggressive, and they got that speed, man. Like they close on plays really quickly. It's nice to see Cousineau. Like again, I came away impressed. I hadn't really seen him play that much, but I came away impressed with him. He definitely, I noticed him. He caught my eye. So errors, right? Like I said, Duncan Cook, they were missing a quarterback, so they had a replacement, Ness Salah. I had never seen this guy play before. They said he had some experience. I was looking. Immediately when I did the rosters, his name was there. So this guy has been playing since 2018. Has
Okay.
Salah. Um, I was looking at his stats right here. Yes, it's since 2018, but I can't find any stats past. I mean, before 2025. So something's not adding up here. But either way, this guy came out. He's like a dual threat quarterback. He had a pretty decent arm, able to make some plays with his legs. Again, you're throwing him into the fire with a bunch of receivers he's never really thrown to. He did miss some passes, but he also threw some pretty accurate balls that were dropped, like a lot of passes off of guys' chests and off of guys' hands when they were open. David Collette, I came away impressed with him. He's a big dude with some really some power and some speed. 5 catches, 67 yards. It looked like it was going to be a blowout. Ayers came back, made it a game, just too many mistakes against Salah, 3 INTs, but again, he's throwing to a bunch of guys he doesn't have much experience with. I will say shout out to Duncan Cook. So he fractured his fibula, I said about a week ago, and then he might have a tear in his PCL. So he's definitely not playing in the winter season. Sorry, in the fall season, I should say. Pardon me. He's aiming to come back for the 2027 winter season. So best wishes to him. I will say though with this, so the 4 games that I score kept on Monday, 2 teams had the same situation. So there's an unwritten rule in FPF, or maybe it's a written rule. I've never seen it, but I know for sure. I remember talking to Rob Campana, our former CEO, former boss, a long time ago. So let me clear this up for players because there's another team I'll get to later. They were upset because they did not know this rule. If you have an injury on your team, as is the case with Duncan Cook, and it's a guy who's not coming back for the rest of the season. Obviously, he broke his leg, so he's definitely not coming back. You can replace that player. It doesn't have to be with somebody that's on your team. I mean, ideally it is. You're allowed to replace that player even if they don't have 5 games played on your team. The caveat to that is you have to get someone that's rated lower than the player they're replacing. And once that person replaces player X, player X can't come back like a week or two later and get back here's their first spot. So let's say you have a hamstring strain and you have a playoff game today or Wednesday. So let's say Thursday night, I can't play Thursday. My hamstring is like it's feeling like maybe a 5 out of 10. But we're playing again next Monday for sure. I'll be back Monday. No, if you get replaced,
Yeah, you're done.
You're done for the year. You're done. And you also have to get replaced. You have to have a doctor's note. Can't just say, "Oh, my hamstring's sore. I just don't feel right," which it's justifiable. But you need to have a doctor's note, and you have to send it to the league. Obviously, Ben McMahon or Jeff Rosenblatt, and be like, "Yeah, I'm injured." Doctor signs off on it, and then again, once you get replaced, you can't come back the rest of the year. So I had to explain this to 3 different teams on Monday. 2 teams knew about it. Hence, obviously, Ayers did. Hence why they got Nessala. But some other teams that didn't, and they're actually pretty mad about it. Again, this is a rule that I think should be publicized more because I remember finding out about this a couple of years ago myself, and I did not know this. Rob actually told me, and he goes, "Yeah, if teams ask about it, then we'll let them know." It's a thing where I remember him telling me he didn't want teams to take advantage of it because let's be honest, some teams will try to take advantage of that. Hence why he requires a doctor's note. But I mean, listen, let's be honest, getting a doctor's note isn't the hardest thing in the world, but. Yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, just to let people know, you can have a player sub for you. Just you can't come back the rest of the way in the playoffs. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, when you're I'm going to add on to what you're saying. So the player doesn't have to be exactly lower than you. I think it has to be 5 up. You could be as high as 5 up. So let's just say you're
right.
67.
You're right.
That player could be 72. And I guess maybe if you're like 72.12, maybe they'll be lenient about it. But I believe it's 5 up. So you can't be like, oh, we have a player that's hurt and he's like a 65. And you're like, okay, I'm going to get, I don't know, you're going to get like I'm trying to think of like Anthony Breezewell to come play with you. Like, oh, hey, Breezewell, come play with us. And let's say for some reason he still fits the cap. Like that's that's not going on. So I believe it has to be 5 up or 5. Well, 5 down doesn't make any sense, but as we find out, it's 5 up. So if he's like 72, you go up to 77, and that's offense. That has to be offense and defense. It just can't just be one rating. So there's that.
Yeah, that's true. Because I'll tell you, I did an E2 game with Stables and Illegal Aliens, and Illegal Aliens came up to me before the game started, actually, because they were watching the armed robbery practice squad. Sorry, they were watching the Ayers underdog game because it was right before theirs, and they knew that Ness Sala wasn't a quarterback. And the guy from Illegal Aliens was like, "Hey, what's going on here? How does that happen?" I'm like, "I don't know, dude. I mean, you can do that. You 100% can do that." And the guy's like, "Oh, if I would have known that, we would have done that too because we were missing 2 guys tonight." I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's on you, dude. You gotta figure." So was it illegal aliens? My bad. Yeah, I think it was illegal aliens. Sorry. Anyways, is either someone from Illegal Aliens or from the first game, Tops and Tops, and no porking around from me too. Either way, someone was complaining. They came out on the losing side, which is why I think it's Illegal Aliens. It's like, "Oh, if I would have known that," and then they're like, "Could we bring a university player that hasn't played before?" I'm like, "Well, technically you can if they're not rated. You can bring him or her." But I mean, anyways, it is what it is. You can bring someone to replace you. Like Quaysie said, you're absolutely right. It can't be more than 5 points above your rating. So, like I said, if you're a 67, can't be someone more than like a 72. But again, get that doctor's note and make sure that player knows who's being replaced. They can't come back if they feel better like a week or two later.
Exactly. So if you feel like if you can't win your game, I mean, get him replaced. But then, as you're kind of saying, like if he's not going to be able to come back next week, championship game week, like he's done. He's pretty much a scratch off. And that player that you have is pretty much on the team forever. You can't just be like, okay, we're going to replace him for somewhere else now. Like that player is basically taking that player's spot, and he's with you until you guys are done. You're done your playoffs. So kind of looking at it right now, right? So first, the Division E1. So we had the 1 seed that won, 2 seed loss. Three seed won, and then we had the fifth seed end up winning, right? So the four seed lost as well too. So we're gonna get a matchup between Toon Squad versus Benitos, and then we're gonna get an arm robbery versus underdogs. So that should be two pretty good matchups into the semifinals that we're gonna see.
No, 100%. I know. Yeah. And so as I said, the guys from like Mike Collar and those guys from Marbury, they stuck around to watch that underdogs game against Ayers. So I know they were taking notes for sure. So
I
I
was
expect a really good matchup next time. Well, next round.
Yeah, I almost played arm robbery. Um, yeah, Mike asked me to play, and I just said I forgot what I told him, but I mean, I couldn't see myself playing Division E1. I think it would have been ridiculous, to be honest with you. But
Yeah. No, I mean, I
probably,
hear you. It's fun. It's still ball, but yeah, I hear you. I mean, you don't want to like play in a million different teams. And
yeah,
as we say, like this is no offense. Like the lower divisions you go, sorry, the lower the division you go, the more risks you take, right?
yeah,
Guys flying around. And,
exactly. I
yeah.
think I subbed with Ben, so with Phil Roberts and Ben and them and Dante, and I think it was Division D2. I want to say, and like I remember I went up for a catch. I've subbed for two games, and I went up for a catch, and this guy literally undercutted me. like Phil threw me. I think it was a corner, but I kind of broke into a post corner, so trying to open his hips and like. So I hit him with the post. I hit the corner. He was so far back that when the ball was thrown, the ball was also late too. I went to catch it, and like I fell him behind me, but I was like, okay, he's probably just gonna wait till I got my flag. But no, this guy like literally undercutted me, like he almost took my calf. Like when I fell, like when he was under, I felt like a pinch, and I was like, what the hell? And then I realized like he
Right.
actually went under me, and then one of the refs, I forgot, I think it was Vinny. Vinny was like, "Oh yeah, I should have called that like as a contact." To be honest, I didn't care as much because at the time I had my adrenaline kind of pumping. But I was like, actually, after the game, I was like, that actually kind of hurt. And then people were kind of saying, he's like, yeah, like kind of undercut you, like he was uncontrolled his body, and I was just like, and the thing that's crazy, if you think about it, against playoffs and regular season games, is kind of a bit different. But a playoff game, maybe in a better division, maybe the guy's going to be a bit aggressive, but at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of the times when you're playing in a stronger division, guys kind of see certain like things happening and they take the smart decision not to do it. Like you're not gonna see a
Yeah.
lot of times where
Yeah.
guys are gonna come undercut you, or it's to a point where if the ball's coming, a defender is probably not gonna jump in between that because he knows he does. It's gonna be a huge collision. Playoffs is a bit different. Guys kind of go a bit more crazier, especially certain situations like they gotta make a play. But during the regular season, like even me now, like if I see a play and like I'm playing, like say I'm playing corner, I'm playing the 3 spot or the 4 spot, and I see like a post and I'm running, if I feel like if I try to make this play, I'm gonna have a huge contact, I'm not gonna jump. I'll probably put a hand to see if I can do something, but I'm not gonna like try to kill the guy because it doesn't make any sense. It is what it is. It's a crazy ball, but I feel like in certain divisions, like lower, higher, like lower, depends how you're looking at it, but like Division E, Division F, like that, I feel like you're uncontrolled and you're just not aware of your surroundings, and you kind of just react how your body is, and that's why a lot of the injuries do happen in a lower division or higher division. Depends how you're looking at it. But in like Division E, Division F, you see more injuries than you see in Division A and B and stuff like that.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Because again, guys, like I said, guys are in more control of your body. Also, let's be honest. Usually in the younger divisions, you get usually younger people too,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
true.
listen, I think anyone, I mean, I know people work sometimes at 17, 16 years old. Most people are employed by 25 and up. I mean, ideally you kind of should be, right? Or at least 30, right? And most of the people playing C, B, and A, even D1, let's say, or D2 are usually 30 and up for the most part, right? We all have jobs, some of us have kids. Like no one's trying to be a hero out there. We've all like some people are still playing tackle, but some people like you and me, or you and I should say, have done like I'm not playing tackle anytime soon. I don't know about you, but I'm
No,
definitely not
no.
playing tackle anytime soon. I wish I could, but I'm not, right? And you get some of these younger guys playing the younger divisions, they are playing tackle or they're fresh off of playing tackle, right? So you're gonna see that a bit more where guys, oh, I'll take a couple of chances and then let me line somebody up and so on and so forth. I will say though, I did play a lower division one. Actually, my last championship, I will say, I'm not trying to do a brag here, but you brought up an interesting point. I played for a team called the Flamingos, which I think was Division 6 at the time. I got asked by this guy, Brad Evans. He's like an OG. He's like, hey man,
Mm-hmm.
putting together a team, a bunch of young guys who were playing tackle at the time. We need some guys who with some experience. I'm like, all right, cool. So there's me and you know Stephen Harpersod, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so Harpersod, he was our quarterback.
that's when Stephen
And
Harper first came in, I think, right?
sorry.
That's when Stephen Harper first came in the league, like
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he
yeah. But
started.
I
When he
think it was
started.
his second, yeah, first or second year at the time. And he's like, hey, do you want to play? And I knew Stephen from Stephen actually used to work at a hospital. Um, the Royal Victoria Queen Elizabeth Clinic by Vendome Metro. So I remember going there one time and I ran into him and we were talking football just randomly. I go, yeah, I play in this league called FPF. He goes, yeah, they started playing FPF. So we ended up becoming friends. He's a good dude. And so he asked me as well to play on the team. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Because I had the commission. But I was like, yeah, I want to play on two teams. I never played on two teams before. This is like 2000, I want to say 18, I think, 19, something like that. And we ended up winning a championship. I had a lot of fun playing Division 6, but you're right. Like, there's guys just flying over the place, diving here, diving there, super reckless. I surprisingly came away injury free from that year, but yeah, I just remember being like, okay, I had fun, hence winning a championship. But I remember being like, all right, this is something maybe I'll do again, maybe not, and kind of lean towards. I've subbed in E. I've subbed in D2. I've subbed in a lot of different divisions the last couple of years, but playing full time in a lower division, yeah, it comes with its risks, but it is a lot of fun though. Playing more ball for sure.
Yeah, no, exactly. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something I completely forgot. Now I just don't remember. I think that's it. Okay,
Um,
well, on that note, I think that's it for Division E1,
E1, right?
right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's
Okay,
it for
so I'll hop into E2.
yeah. So what do
Uh,
you?
yeah, so this, my apologies to E2. Well, the article's out now. I was trying to get it out before the game started on Monday. I'm not gonna lie, I had to do a Division B article. I got home from work. Teaching summer school is like fun, but it's not at the same time. It's time consuming and I'm tired. But I didn't have time to get out the Division E2 article before the game started, so I put one out afterwards. I can tell you though, pretty much all the favorites won in Division E2 to start off the playoffs. Looking at the matches. So I know the Trailer Park Boys, who yes, 9-0-1. Uh, they there's a couple guys on the team. Obviously, Jean Sebastian Sarano plays on my team. He's my rusher, great dude. They were successful so far in staying undefeated to kick off the playoffs. I know Antoine Meunier, he had me on Messenger and he sent me a message to close when they close out the regular season pardon me, to close out the regular seasons. I think I said it last week in an article and definitely last week here on the pod. I thought they had two weekend games to finish the season, and I thought they would go 1-1. Congrats to them. They did not go 1-1. They went a perfect 2-0. So they finished 9-0-1 in the regular season. That's great. Fantastic for those guys. They deserve it. Top team in the division. So playoffs, right? They were tested. So they were playing enter team name here. So my boy Kenny Batillier and obviously Zach Alpers Gill, guys that I'm super close with. They finished in the AFC. So enter team name here. We've talked about them lately on the podcast. They were kind of coming off a bit of a hot streak, right? They tied Trailer Park Boys 34-34 in the regular season. They finished off the year beating Tops and Tops. So the number 2 seed, they smoked them 40-20 a few weeks back. They lost surprisingly to Superbuck. Now I don't know how the heck that happened, but credit to Superbuck. Superbuck, I've seen them play. They're better than what their final record was. Superbuck. I'm just trying to see what it was here. I
2-8,
believe they missed the playoffs. Superbuck. Sorry, my computer's acting a little slow. I don't know why. I
four
might have
and
started it
six,
before.
4 and 6.
4-6. Okay, yeah, yeah, exactly.
They just
Four and
missed it.
six is not a horrible record.
No.
But anyways, so they lost to Super Box. I'm like, okay, whatever. But maybe a bit of a false start. And it's good sometimes, you'll find out later. Sometimes it's good to lose before the playoffs start. So yeah, Super Box finished in 11th place and just missed out on the playoffs by 1 point behind Enter Team Name here. I honestly thought it would be kind of a close game though between Enter Team Name here and Trailer Park Boys. I figured Trailer Park Boys would win the game because again, they're the best team without a shadow of a doubt in this division. The game didn't end up being all that close. So 36-22 for Enter Team Name here. Uh, yeah, so Kenny Batuye, 3 touchdown passes, but 3 picks. So he'd be the first one to tell you, you throw that many turnovers, you're not going to win the game. They were without Zachary Alvarez-Gill, so the second best player who does a lot for this team as a receiver and as
Yeah,
one
Russia.
of, if not the best rusher still in the game. They couldn't slow down Alex Marinier. So it's 3 brothers. Antoine's the quarterback, Marinier. There's Alex, and then there's Frederick or Fred. So Alex, the receiver, caught 4 catches, 57 yards, 3 TDs, right? Mark Etienne Simard caught 2 TDs, and my main man, J.S. St. Arnaud, caught a touchdown as well. They just couldn't stop turning over the ball, entertaining them here, and they couldn't keep up points wise, right? They scored 14 points in the first half and only 8 in the second, right? You're not going to win any games if you score 1 touchdown in the second half and Trailer Park Boys advance to the second round.
Yeah, I got to watch a little glimpse of that game, and I look like Trailer Park Boys. Like they're always like yelling, and they look excited. I wasn't really sure about the rankings, because I didn't look at the standings. I knew Trailer Park Boys was one of the top teams, so I figured they were playing a bottom team. But they looked like, I can't say they looked good because I was looking at glimpse here and there. But every time I kind of look, it looked like they're either scoring or getting a first down, or the quarterback's using his legs. Like they just look like they were in control.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. I mean, they pretty much from start to finish, they controlled the flow of the game, the pace of the game, and they dictated the outcome. Again, you force some turnovers, and your offense pretty much scores on virtually every possession. You're going to win a lot of games, and that's what happened. I know the number 2 seed, so there was a battle. I score kept. What was it here? I score kept, so no poking around against tops and tops. Now, going into this game, for me, this was like the ultimate toss up. I wasn't really sure who was going to get the W here. I was going back and forth for a little bit, like, okay, maybe this, maybe that. In my heart, I'll be honest with you, I had no porking around because of their defense. I thought they would get the best of tops and tops. This was also a really good game. Xavier Chalui. This game actually got a little physical too. This game did get a little physical as well. I won't lie. So I'm trying. Sorry, you know what? So I owe illegal aliens an apology. It wasn't them who was complaining. It was no porking around. It was complaining to me about the extra the subbing situation. There's some players though. Joey Post. I've seen him play a lot. He had a big game. 4 catches, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. I've seen him a lot the last couple seasons. He's good. My main man Jerry Vincent was there. He was subbing, filling in for somebody. Jerry Vincent that was injured. Because maybe it wasn't them. My apologies. Maybe it wasn't no porking around. Anyways, Stefano DeSeta, so he's a guy now started the last couple seasons to play in some higher divisions. He had a big game. He got hurt twice though, man. He got a head injury, or at least one upper body injury, and I think he had maybe a middle or another upper body injury later in the game. He went down twice hard, hitting the turf. There was no apologies in this game at all. Both teams, it's playoffs, right? Both teams wanted it. Laurent Risotto, 3 TDs for his team. Loic Lenville had 2 TDs. But these guys, so tops and tops, they had some banged up guys too. So Magali Delon, who's one of our scorekeepers, she had asked me for ice at the beginning of the game, and I was like, "Did something happen during the warm-ups?" I was thinking to myself, and she's like, "No." There was a guy in the team, I believe it was Samuel Woody, number 6. He apparently had an upper body. I'm going to say what it is. He hit his head before the game. I don't know if it was at work or something. She's like, "Yeah, he hit his head." And he needed some ice. So he didn't play like the first 20 minutes of the game. He sat on the bench with an ice pack on the back of his neck. There was another guy that was banged up as well, Joe Anthony Risotto. He was I think he pulled his hamstring or something, maybe before or in pregame, because he was working on the sideline, doing some sprinting in place. He had the bands out stretching his hamstrings. He ended up not playing. Yeah, so tops and tops is banged up, and obviously with Jerry Vincent coming in there as a sub, no porking around, banged up as well. Again, this is a good game. I was happy I got the call. Not the call. Got to watch this game. Tops and toss with the 32-24 win. So tops and tops is a 2 seed and knocking off the 7 seed, no porking around. Like I said, I did illegal aliens, the number 3 seed. They took on the number 6 seed, the stable. So we have an upset. This game, speaking of guys missing as well, right? So so I know we didn't talk. I don't think we talked about this last week. I know we did. So it's for stables, right? Their regular quarterback is Devin Kutzer. He didn't play last week. David Mather, who's a winter season quarterback, he replaced him last week, and to wrap up the regular season against special agents. Yeah, we did talk about that last week. My apologies. He wasn't. Well, David Mather had played that one game and one game only, right? So he obviously couldn't qualify for the playoffs. Devin Cruiser missed the game again, I think, due to injury. So Cedric Fisk-Casso, who's their top receiver, let's be honest, their top player, he played quarterback in the showdown. And I can't lie, he didn't look that bad. He miss some throws, yeah, but he also made some good throws. He's super athletic. I was even talking to Leo during the game. Like this guy's an athlete. I believe his brother he played, I think, something at U of M or Sherbrooke, one or the other. But anyways, this dude was making plays. Like he was making a lot of plays with his feet, with his arm. He made some timely throws, and he used his athleticism to buy time for his receivers to get open. And yeah, the Stables with 20-19 victory over Illegal Aliens. Again, this is also a physical game. There was no love lost between these two teams, and like again, obviously, a one-score game went down to the wire, and the Stables they got the W.
Something kind of cool to see is that, not no disrespect to other teams, but Tops and Tops, Flag Dealers, Trailer Park Boys is kind of a veteran team that's playing the league, and they kind of just came back this season. And then Stables, these are, well, other than Trailer Park Boys, Stables, Flag Dealers, Tops and Tops, these teams has been playing in Division E, I want to say, recently. Like we kind of talked in the past couple of a few seasons, and I would like to say that I think this is the first time where they all kind of are winning a first round playoff game to go into the semis, because usually some of them, I don't think, is it top what team? I don't think Flag Dealers made the playoffs like two seasons
Yeah,
ago.
they were bad for a while.
But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is it's kind of nice to see these teams like get to the next level, get to the next level of playoffs and kind of experience it, like again, Trailer Park Boys, it's a team that's been for a while. They're kind of coming back now, but to kind of see Top and Tops, Flag Dealers, and Stables all to win their first round matchups, I feel like it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I couldn't have said it better. Like, Flag Dealers were bad for a while, and I won't lie, a lot of it was the quarterback and Roy Khalil. Like, I was on him hard, and I remember writing Division 6 a couple of seasons ago, and he was terrible. He was terrible, to be honest. He was terrible. He's gotten better. The receivers, who I thought were always the strength of this team, have gotten better. I know Mark Haddad has started to play some higher divisions. He really should, because he's that good, amongst some other guys on their team as well. I'm happy for these guys for the success that they're having. I know the Stables, again, I talked about them a lot this past winter season, led by David Mather. There's been no drop off with Kutzer at quarterback. Right, again, he's hurt, so hopefully he could come back at some point. But yeah, man, like these are teams, like I said, started off, they took their lumps, they stuck with it. A lot of teams will quit. A lot of teams will either quit the league entirely or disband, and guys will go to different teams, and that's the end of that. These guys have stuck with it. They swallowed the medicine, if you will, and now they're coming out the other side a lot better. So congrats to all those teams. But yeah, like I said, Stables getting the W. It was like I said, it was a great game to watch. Two teams not afraid to throw the ball deep. I wanted to get your opinion on this. So something I noticed about the Stable. So I was talking. So they're another team who's banged up as well. Like I said, the quarterback is gone, and one of the leaders on the team, Dan Iraria, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He was he hasn't played in a couple of weeks. He showed me he sliced his thumb open by accident with a kitchen knife.
Oh.
So he showed me the stitches. So if you play with a cast, he'd be able to play, but he can't. So he says it should be another week before he's able to play. But he showed me like the whole inside of his thumb is all like stitched up from like the web part here all the way around. I was like, yeah, that looks bad. He goes, yeah, it didn't feel good either. But yeah, man. I gotta say this team, like I've liked them. They're fast, they're aggressive. They're a good team. I'm interested to see how far they can go. So I had another point. I just can't remember right now. My apologies. Yeah. So they're sorry. I want to say yeah, they were banged up, but I want to get your opinion on this. So Sean Costello, one of the veterans, there's Sean Costello. I want to say they also had a sub, Jean-Christophe Valet, never played in FPF before. I had to create a profile for him. He's another guy that got called into sub. I'm not sure if he's replacing Kutzer. I should have asked if Cruiser, that's his replacement, but they said Valet will be there for the rest of the year. Had to create a profile for him, so they knew the sub rule. They're a veteran team. But yeah, I think so. Eric Farge, I want to say, Ethan Christus, Devin's brother, and Sean Costello. I know Costello for sure. I'm not too sure about the other two players, but three of the players on the team weren't wearing gloves. And I don't know about you, like I have small hands, so I need to wear gloves.
Hmm.
Like I can't catch anything almost without gloves. Even with gloves, people would say I can't catch much either. But former defender, it is what it is, man. Um, yeah, I've never seen that many people on one team again. They only had like six guys or maybe seven. I think they had seven. Like so many people not wearing gloves. Like what's your opinion on that? Wearing gloves?
I mean, I'm a glove guy. Don't get me wrong. I feel like if your gloves are kind of worn out, I think that's where you kind of go with your hands. But if you have some stick to your gloves, I mean, go with gloves. Uh, but yeah, like I mean, I was always a big glove guy. I think I stopped wearing gloves my first year Vanier, and I have no clue why I did this. I just wasn't really wearing it. And then my second year, I started wearing them again, and then and then going into university, I was starting to wear gloves. I mean, I to be honest with you, I think I like wearing gloves more when it comes to more contact because I feel like you feel more safe. But like when it comes to
Yeah.
flag, I think I mean if you have hands, like I don't think it's that necessary. But gloves do make a big factor. Like sometimes you see catches and right away you're like, no, that's not his hands. Those are the gloves. You know, like sometimes it's the stickiness. You know, so like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a, I, I'm a fan of that. But if your gloves are new, if your gloves are like dusty and they're like old and they smell like shit, like that, and they're not really helping you, then whatever, just take off the gloves. But if they're like they're newish gloves, not like newish that smell the greatest, but like if they're newish, you know, and like it helps you catch, then it is what it is. But I feel like I do feel like a lot of people wear gloves because it does help them catch easier than
Yeah.
not gloves.
Yeah, I hear you 100% on tackle. Like I always wear gloves. I think even when I played Sun Youth, my first time playing, I didn't. I was think I was 13. I didn't have gloves. I had no idea. I needed to wear football gloves. I played fullback for like 2 or 3 games, and the coach was like, "Yeah, we'll give you some gloves." I'm like, "All right, cool." So then I ended up just sticking with them. I know them playing D line, at Sun Youth, Junior Ball, Concordia. I remember just especially playing D line. You're having to jam your
Yeah,
hands
no, yeah, you want to feel more
into the chest
protected.
plate.
You
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
make,
no,
but some, yeah,
100%, dude.
you
I can
want to
tell you,
feel more
my hands
protected.
took this
Yeah,
tour. No, yeah, 100%, 100%. Even playing fullback, I dabbled a little fullback at Con U too. I was like, yeah, I gotta wear gloves.
yeah, no,
Can't run
100%.
places.
Contact gloves, 100%. Like I feel like just hitting or just carrying the ball, getting hit. Like I feel like you just feel more protected. You're like, okay, I feel more like secured, you know, like compared to not wearing
Yeah,
gloves. Unless it starts raining and then everything's kind of like all bets are off. But yeah, gloves. For me, gloves is a big. I'm good with gloves.
what kind of so since we're talking about equipment, what kind of cleat are you? Like, are you the studs or are you the rubber?
Well, I'm the rubber. I mean, the studs. I used to wear stud. You're talking about the little stud things, like the little mini
Yeah, like
ones,
the ones you screw on like out there in my car. Or no, I have a
like
hold
the
on. I'll
Reebok
show
back
you.
in the day, or the
Actually,
Nikes
I have a
too.
pair of Reebok right here. Hold on. So like this, right? With like at the bottom, like
Yeah,
these
those
or
are
like
the
the upper
those are
bottom.
the yeah. But the thing is, that's what everybody used back in the day, right? Those are well,
Yeah.
it's like I want to say like again, like when I first started playing football, so in Pee Wee, so back in 2007, yeah, 2007, like when you went to go buy cleats, that's all they had available. They didn't have the rubber ones. They just had those. And I remember at the bottom of it, when you worn it out, you had the little silver steel showing. And
Yeah.
usually what happens is if you had you would have to get checked. Your cleats would have to get checked, like the refs
Yeah,
check
yeah,
cleats,
yeah.
and if those were showing, you had to replace them, and then you could have bought them at stores, whatever. So I remember our what's it called, our athletic therapist, whatever person, our trainer, they would have like our coaches too. They would have a big box of them of new ones. So like if for some reason, like let's say a team is complaining like you're too good, or before they check in, like, oh, check that guy's
Yeah,
cleats,
yeah.
and if they were, I remember one time like because they get worn out, right? I mean, one time my thing were kind of like I think I had maybe on both sides. I think you have maybe 10 or 9 each side. But anyways, how much do you have there?
One, two, three, four, five. I have seven. This one has seven.
7. Yeah. Okay. So around like 7,
Yeah.
8. I know whatever. I think I had maybe 10 that were worn out. I didn't realize
Yeah.
whatever, and then we forgot the box of cleat of it, so like I couldn't even play. And then my dad had to go my dad had to go to the store that was like kind of down the street, went to go buy some, brought some to me. They switched it, and then whatever, I showed the ref and I was ready to go. So that took like
Oh
20
wow,
minutes.
okay.
But yeah, so the first quarter I played, and then like I guess the team kind of asked, like maybe when the coaches saw me get tackled, they saw and they're like, that guy's not working. I remember him saying it, whatever. So I remember going back, and the ref's like, come here. And he looked at me, he's like, oh no, you can't play, Gotta fix his studs. And then my dad, whatever, came, gave it to me, and I was like, all right, let's go. And we ended up winning. But, oh, yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, like, I haven't worn those, like, to answer your question, I haven't worn those since, like, when did I first get my new pair? I think since, like, my last year midget. I think I was still wearing cleats like that. Maybe first year midget. But and then after that, I started getting the other material which I use now. But I don't remember the difference between the two. I kind of like because I haven't worn the other ones for so long.
Okay. So I'll tell you, I was going back and forth the last couple seasons. So I'm not a Jordan guy, but I bought a pair of Jordans at a Nike deal back in July, and I started wearing them. They're like I don't want to say they're in my trunk. I should have brought them upstairs. They're not like those. They're not with the screw-ons and that. It's like I don't even want to say they're the molded ones either. They're a bit molded, but as these long plastic pieces on either side. I think there's like 2 or 4 in the back and about 3 or 4 or 5 in the front or 6 in the front. For me, that's like a different type of cleat. I never had a cleat like that before. I prefer wearing these. Actually, I've never played a game, and I got this working on a TV show, Blue Mountain State. I don't know if I mentioned that before on the show, but I got these from working. I never get them back. I'm an ass, but little memento for myself. But I used to wear those all the time, like that style with the screw-ons on the bottom. I remember winning a Manson Cup wearing a pair like that. I remember going to Concordia wearing a pair like that. Obviously, at Connu, they gave us shoes and a lot of other gear.
Mhm.
So I started wearing the molded ones. Starting in FPF, though, I wore the studs, and then I started going to the molded. I'm flat-footed, so for me, like footwear is super important. And I've been going back and forth this season. I started with the molded. I went out to the Jordans, which are a little bit different. If I had to choose a preference, playing on turf, I think the molded is better.
Okay.
Playing on grass, obviously, depending how good or bad the grass is, obviously you want to get the studs. But if I had to pick a pair to play on both, I don't mind the studs playing on turf. I think I'm more
Okay.
susceptible to getting a knee injury, but I find I have more grip and more stopping ability wearing the studs than I do with the molded, and probably that's why the molded are the molded, but the cleats,
Yeah.
sorry, the studs are the studs, but that's just my opinion.
Some fields you play on dirt. I remember I used to play against LaSalle. They had like a dirt field on the back and
Hmm.
playing on straight dirt. Like it was just like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
tough. It was rough. There was like a bit of grass. I was like, yo, it's like a baseball field. It was didn't make it. It's like when you're playing when they used to play in Oakland, like that kind of vibe. But it was like
Yeah, yeah.
nicer, but just dirt. I remember you used to just run it and it would just be like hard. I remember one time, I think I got hit. Well, I hit someone and I also got hit. I remember just falling to the ground. And I was just like, yo, this actually hurts. Like, or just running on it, you just feel like, but
But it can't be worse than Sun Youth, dude. You played at Sun Youth before, right?
no, I never played at Sun Youth. Never.
Oh, dude. Okay, listen. Anybody that's over the age of like 30 will tell you. Like I played at Sun Youth, like Jonathan Williams, a bunch of cats. Like even ask Chris Olsen. Chris Olsen played Sun Youth. A lot of guys. Now it's nice. It's turf. Before that, it was a slab of concrete, and they put like astroturf on top of it, and then they covered. So you in the slip, they would put salt, like big pieces of salt. I guess they use for the ice, whatever, for the snow, and they break it up and put it on the field. So when you get turf burn, you get salt all in the wounds,
She,
and it's concrete underneath. That's a play. You may as well play on the street. Like literally, you may as well play on the street and dump a bunch of salt on the street, and here you go. That's how I was playing that Sunny, man. Like, yeah, I can show you on my knees and my elbows. I have turf burns from like I haven't been 13, 14, and 12 for a long time. But those scars never go away, man. Yeah, hardest, worst field ever. Like worst, hardest. Just yeah. If you get a cut, you'll be crying about it all the way home. Like it's yeah. Anyways, good times.
damn.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyways, I know Ali probably hates us right now. He's like, because you guys shut up about football and just get back to life. Anyways,
but
yeah, man. So like I said,
to
yeah.
to go into, right? So we're finishing Division E. Two, we're gonna go into Division F just about now. Just to kind of go back to it, right? So we had three teams. The top three teams ended up actually no, Legal Indians lost. So we had the third seed that ended up losing, and the 16 won. So we had Top Tops, Flag Dealers, Trailer Park Boys, and Stables. So we had the number 1 seed, number 2 seed, number 4 seed, and number 6 seed win. So we're gonna have Trailer Park Boys play Stables, and then we're gonna have Top and Tops play Flag Dealers. So we could have again two really good matchups. I don't know who's gonna say. I would say Top and Tops are gonna win on Trailer Park Boys, but I feel like those are gonna. It's like as the four teams we have in the semis right now. I think we have four very good teams, and it's gonna be very interesting to see who's gonna come up, who's gonna end up winning in the semis and have a chance to win a championship.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, I think Trailer Park Boys and Stables, I mean, if Stables had their full roster, I think it'd be a much better game. They have some athleticism that I don't think they can match. Defensively, I don't think they could hold down Trailer Park Boys for an entire game. I mean, could I be wrong? I definitely could be. Tops and Flag Dealers. I think that's going to be a really, really, really good matchup. Defensively, both teams are pretty solid defensively and obviously offense. Like, let's be honest, Tops and Tops had the number one offense, right? And Flag Dealers weren't too far behind, right? So I mean, I expect this to be a really, really good matchup. Two teams are separated by not much in terms of the standings. Regular season, they did not play each other, so that's also going to be a cool thing. First time this season, both teams will be squaring off. And in terms of, like I said, the Stables and the Trailer Park Boys, I'm trying to say, did they play in the regular season? Trailer Park Boys. No, I don't believe they did. No, Stables did not play Trailer Park Boys. Oh no, they did. Sorry, no, they played week one. It was 20-13. Trailer Park Boys beat the Stables again. That's all the way back in week one, like the end of May, right? So obviously, fast forward to now, mid-August. Eh, I don't know if it'll be a close game. Stables have enough athleticism to keep it close. I just think the Trailer Park Boys are the better team. I think they'll be able to pull away, especially if it's going to be Cedric Fisk Casco at quarterback. He looked good, but I don't think he can go toe to toe the entire game with the Trailer Park Boys defense and what they have going on that team.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move to Division F. Yep. Okay. Yeah, no problem. So the viewers that are at home right now, if you're kind of looking to see, we're gonna play kind of a game called the Secret Word Game, and pretty much I have 5 words that you guys see on the screen right now, and I'm gonna have to try to put these words like in sentences, and Brent's gonna have to try to catch on to say that I'm saying weird ass words, and we're gonna see if he's able to catch on of me saying these words or he's not. And at the end of the episode, I think I'm gonna ask him if I'm not sure if I'm gonna ask him if he felt like I was saying anything weird or our conversations were normal. But you guys when you're gonna catch on when the words are said like that, and we're gonna kind of go off like that. But everything's gonna be the same. Like, we're gonna be talking about divisions, but I'm gonna try to sneak in the 5 words that I have here, and every time I say a word, we're gonna kind of scratch it out, and we're gonna see if I'll be able to say the 5 words. So, okay, so Brent's back. So yeah, so Division F, right? Division F is actually kind of crazy if you think about it, because 16 teams make playoffs, and I think there's buys. Yeah, 16 teams make playoffs, but there's no buys. So it's probably the hardest division to actually win because you play so many games, right? You have the 1 seed straight to the 16 seed. So we kind of had the first round in the playoffs where we had the divisional round, and usually in divisional round usually have the first top 4 teams. They get buys, and then you play on from the 5th to 12. But this season it's straight 1 to 16. 2 to 15, 3 to 14, and so on. So it's a bit different this year, which I find pretty cool because it just makes a playoff experience so much bigger and so much different, and you get to play more games, right? So kind of going down, Brent, I don't think you score kept any of these games on Sunday, August 9th from, I think it was, from 1 to 5 p.m. I don't think, exactly. So we're going to kind of just go base. I think we should just go down kind of see who won, who kind of lost, and then we'll go. They also have the quarterfinals kind of set up, so we'll kind of go from here, and then we can talk about the quarterfinals and see the matchups there. But we did have some forfeits, which is kind of unfortunate because it's like kind of like saying like maybe a team. We had Jamaican bobsled team that they forfeited
Yeah. Yep.
60-0. So that's kind of unfortunate to see with the team because again, Jamaican bobsled team is also a team that's kind of new. I think this is their third season so far. They had a really good first season, and then this last season, the season now, not the greatest. They finished 4-6. So I mean, not so bad. I think last year they finished 2-8. So a bit of a step up for them, but unfortunately they had to forfeit. Maybe around this time, people are gone on vacation, people are gone on weddings, stuff like that. So it does happen. And then we also had Sweet Bonanza end up forfeiting versus over underachievers, where Sweet Bonanza was the third seed. So they had a great season. They finished 8-2, a team that's also been struggling, and unfortunately for them, they had a forfeit. So that's two teams that again we like to see. We've talked about them quite often, and it kind of sucks to see that their playoff run kind of ended here.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, man. Like I said, let's be honest, Sweet Bonanza, they have not been good. They have not been good the last couple of seasons. Finally, they turn it around, right? Again, like I said before, teams start off struggling, they stuck with it, but then they get to the playoffs and forfeit. That's super, super disappointing. But yeah, I mean, life goes on, but hopefully next year when these guys come back in the fall season, they can pick up where they left off and actually play a playoff game. Couple of big names though, I think going down too, like Junior XL, they lost at DNFC. Devious Dogs, they lost the perfect timing. Baby Sharks letting it beat down 35-0 on Vic's Doghouse, right? You never want to see that in the playoffs, not getting a point on the board. Two Box only scoring 8 points in their 27-8 loss to Click the Chateau. West Luke shootout there beating TG's 44-39. So a couple of high scoring games, a couple of blowouts, but also, like I said, a couple of forfeits as well in Division F this past week.
Yeah, very interesting. And also, again, I love the format that the 16 teams make it because it gives a chance for the upsets to see, and then also the forfeits as well too. So it is what it is. But again, like teams like I think TG's lost 2 versus West Luke. I think that was a pretty big upset. Number 12 seed knocking out a number 5th seed, 5-5. I mean, it's not a horrible record. It's in between, and then TGs were 7-3. So I was interested to see XL as well too. They finished 4-6, so not a huge upset. They had a hard opponent where they played Aldin FC. So I mean. Aldin. Yeah, Aladdin FC. So they're the number 2 seed, right? So they kind of just took care of business in that sense. But again, Junior XL is, we talk about them as well too with Keon, and they're getting better here and there. I mean, I see them, they're just going to get better every year, especially if they stick with that same group together. But it's going to be interesting to see for these semifinals, right? So for the quarterfinals now, moving forward, where we have 4 teams, where I believe we still have. So Baby Sharks is number 1 seed, FC is number 2 seed. Did Bug Sacks?
Bug Sacks won. Because Bug Sacks had the forfeit victory over Sweet
Bonanza. Exactly. Yeah, so they're going to be the 4th seed. Okay. And then we have the 5th seed's going to end up being. Sorry, I'm kind of like looking here and there. There's so many teams.
I got you. So TG's, right? TG's. They lost, right? TG's was the 5th seed. Camwins actually lost a thriller. Yeah. They lost 31-25 to the 11th seed in Zen O'Clock, right? So you have the 6 seeds are out. Devious Dogs, they're out as well. So you got the 5, 6, and 7 seeds. They all got bounced in upsets.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting to see. I'm sure a lot of the higher seeds are kind of happy about that, right? Because at the end of the day, like, don't get me wrong, you rather play versus a team that's in a worse seed, like in most cases, because it kind of just means like they lost more games compared to like playing when you're like the 1 seed, you end up playing the 4 seed. If you're the 1 seed and you can end up playing like 11 seed or 10 seed going into quarters and even semis, you're kind of happy about that because you're like, okay, well, listen here, this team this team didn't win that many games or they struggled this year, like we could take advantage like that. Something that's also crazy to look at, um, Devious Dogs and Zin O'Clock, they
Yeah.
finished the season with 3 ties.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll see that like three
True.
ties it's a lot. I'm kind of looking at it now because look at the schedule, the standings like that. They finished with 3 ties. That's kind of it's impressive. You don't see that often.
And if even one of those games ends up in a win, Devious Dogs go from finishing seventh to finishing in fourth.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's big right there.
Yeah. So look at the quarterfinals. We have over underachievers versus Baby Sharks. Then we have West Luke versus Alden FC. Aladdin FC. Then we have Zane O'Clock versus Bug Sacks, and then Perfect Timing versus Click the Shuttle.
Click the shot, yeah.
So
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
matchups.
Yeah.
Anything to say about these teams, or do you think we're gonna have an upset? Or
Well, I think for Baby Sharks, I think it's pretty safe. I think they're going to advance. I'll be honest. I think that's my favorite. I've seen them play a bit. That's my favorite to win it all. Aladdin FC, man. I've seen these guys play. Like I like what I've seen. They're fast. They got some size. They have some speed. Like they're aggressive. I like these guys. Zen O'Clock I've seen. They're kind of like they're athletic. The team is athletic. They chuck the ball a lot. That I think if you have a sound defense, you can knock them off. I mean, so we'll have to see if Bug Sacks can do exactly that. Perfect timing and Click. So I won't lie. I have not seen Click the Shot till it's one of the few teams I haven't seen play this season. Perfect timing. I've seen them play one game. So small size. But Justin Villiers, the quarterback, he is a dual threat quarterback. This guy can make plays with his arms and his legs. I'm gonna go with perfect timing. And I've seen this team play. I've seen them play once, and again, I like their quarterback. And I've asked around about this quarterback, and people have also told me, yeah, this guy can ball. Like he's good. I want to go with those guys. I think to get the win. Perfect timing over Click de Chateau.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
And
I agree with you.
At the standings, right? It's a 9 and 10, right? Click the Chateau is 9, perfect timing 10th, right? So I mean, the team separated by 1 point in the regular season. So I think it'll go down to the wire. You know, but I think again, but I think perfect timing will get the W here.
I think when we kind of talk about like standings and we don't care where we kind of fall. I think in the higher divisions when you have this many teams, I think being a number 1 seed or 2 seed benefits you so much better because you end up playing versus those lower seeds as a 14 seed, 15 seed, or especially if there's upset. I think that's where you get a big advantage. I think like when you're playing division C and B and stuff like that, sometimes every team is kind of good moving forward, but like a division like this, when you have 16 teams, and if you could have if it's a forfeit, it's a forfeit, or if it's upset, like you're in such better shape. Like Baby Sharks, if they take care of business in the quarterfinals and the semifinals, they're going to end up playing versus a 9 or 10 seed. Or 11 seed if Zine O'Clock ends up winning too, right? So like they end up playing the bottom of the bottom in a semifinal matchup where they have a good chance to go in the final, especially the fact right now they finished 9-1. They're the number 1 team for points for, and I believe they also lead defense for 157 points against too. So I think for them, I would feel pretty confident as long as they're kind of going every game, playing how they've been playing. I think they feel pretty confident the fact that they're not playing the top of the top teams. They kind of get the lower of the batch going into this playoff run.
No, 100%, 100%. And again, as you always say, right? Also, when it comes down to the seedings, it doesn't really matter. You have to go out there and perform, right? Whether you're the 1 seed or, in this case, the 16th or the 8th seed, or whatever the case may be, right? You have to go out and perform. Throw the records out the window. In the playoffs, doesn't matter what you did in the regular season. It does not matter at all. Regular season is just for getting chemistry and timing down. So it doesn't matter where you finish. You get there, you get to the dance like these teams have done, and you try to give your best shot when it's your time when you're up there on the big stage.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to move into Division D1 now?
Or you want to, let's do D1 first and do D2 after. I'm actually sorry. My apologies. I'm texting somebody, so I noticed something about D2 that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm just waiting to get a response. So let's hop into D1 first before we go to D2.
So So D1 again. We're just gonna go through the matchups. We're not gonna say how teams kind of got there, but we have the top 8 teams that made playoffs, and it goes straight 1 to 8, 2 to 7, 3 to 6,
Yeah.
and 4 to 5. Regular stuff. We have Ballhawks versus Black Vipers, which again I think it's gonna be a good game. I wonder if Ballhawks, Xavier Coetzee, I believe he's back, so they have their quarterback back. Looks like he's ready to go. They're the lower seed in that matchup, as they're in the 7th seed, which is kind of messed up for Judith because kind of going back, they finished the 9th seed. We had 5-5, double dip 5-5, Ballhawks 5-5, but it goes points against. And unfortunately for Judith, they had a lot of points scoring them, so they end up getting bumped down as a 9th seed. Going forward, so we have Ballhawks versus Black Vipers. I think that's going to be a good game. Ballhawks are going to be full strength with their quarterback, so that's going to be interesting. If you had to choose between two of these teams, who do you think is going to win?
That's a good question. I've seen the Ballhawks play a lot. I've seen the Pipers once or twice, but I've seen the Ballhawks more. I think I could be wrong, but I think I would give them the edge just off of the fact that I've score kept the game a couple weeks ago. Actually, the Ballhawks. These guys, they're deep. They have speed. Obviously, Marc-Andre Reed, right? Pardon me. They have some guys on their team, right, who have made some plays. Like obviously Xavier Coetzee, right? It's on the team. A lot of other guys. My man Jerry Bobuff. There's a couple cats on the team. Michael Kouet. Like I think the roster is not a lot, but a little bit better than the Black Vipers. So I'll go with the Ballhawks.
Okay, yeah, me too. I'm gonna go to the Hawks. The next game we have is Snowden Delhi Degens versus Bendo
Yeah.
Break. So we have, I believe that's the 4th seed versus the 5th seed. So kind of, Brendo Break finished 6-4. Snowden Delhi Degens finished six and
Yeah.
four as well too. So I mean, it should be an interesting game. Who do you have here?
So I mean, we've all seen Snowden Deli Jesus for a while. Obviously, Adam Malinoff and those guys, Adam Lieberling, like they have depth and they have chemistry. I will give a shout out though to my main man Luke Moreau. You know, I'm gonna say Ben don't break. I'm gonna say Ben don't break here. These cats are hungry. They want some respect. I'm gonna say Ben don't break. Yeah, I go with them.
Okay. I'm gonna go Snowden Delhi Degens. I think Adamonov is a guy that just kind of wins games. Again, I'm kind of just going based off him. I think he's gonna get business done. Then we have Double Dip, a team that's usually they usually competes in co-ed. Now they kind of have their men's team kind of going. They don't have the best matchup as they play Junior XL special education. Yeah. So that for them, I think that's a 2 seed versus that's a number 1 seed versus an 8 seed. So we have 8-2 versus 5-5. Who do you have for that game there?
I mean, I'm looking at the squad for Double Dip. Listen, I've seen a lot of these guys play. They have some talent. I'm not gonna act like they don't. They have some talent. Vincent Richard, among others, right? They have some guys that could play. But again, you look at this Junior XL special ed team. I mean, they're deep. They have better weapons than their opponents do. I'm going with Junior XL in this one.
Yeah, me too. I think that's going to be a team to beat. I think I think the only reason I think they're going to be the one. Sorry. Oh my god. I think they're going to be one of the teams to beat. And I think if they lose the game, it's going to be on them. Like if they end up losing this playoff run, I think it's going to be because they lost it, not because a team overplayed them or just dominate them. I think if they lose, it's going to be because they lost because of themselves. And we finish off with Peacemaker.
And so, I was going to say they have a habit of doing that. I will say Junior XL has a habit of choking.
Mm-hmm.
Like either they'll be missing some guys, they'll have an injury, something will happen, they'll have a bad game. In the biggest moments in the playoffs, sometimes they do choke. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Double Dip is going to come out the losers of this one. Do I expect them to win? No, but I wouldn't be shocked if we come here this time next week and talk about how Double Dip got the upset. With that being said, though, I still expect Junior XL Special Ed to at least get out of this game.
And then we finish off with Peacemakers and Nighthawks, which I think that game could go anyway. And they both finished the season 6-4.
Yeah, man. Listen, I know Jason Rossi. He's a friend, as is Chris Brockwell. I've done a lot of their games. I have seen the Nighthawks though, man. I like what these guys have going on, man. I like this team. They're fun. They're exciting. They have playmakers pretty much all over the defense. I think it's gonna depend though, right, on the main man Fabrice Robillard, right? He started off as a receiver. He's been quarterback the last couple seasons. It started off not looking great. He has gotten better. Shout out to Reginald Prophet. I like this guy, Stefano De Seta. I talked about him earlier. Obviously, Yvon Salaman. They have some players on the team. Jerry Vincent as well, right? Buddy of mine. Like they got some players, they got some playmakers. But it's will you get good Fabrice or bad Fabrice? When you get the bad Fabrice, he's inaccurate. He's late on passes. But when he is playing good, right? He has really big size and he has a big arm. He throws the ball on time when he's accurate in that, and like it's gonna be interesting to see. Hey, Jason Rossi, right? He could be one and done, or he could lead his team to a championship. It's which Jason Rossi are you gonna get, and is that defense going to be able to survive the athleticism that the Nighthawks have? That's what I'm not sure about, but I will give the veteran experience to pacemakers, and pacemakers have some players too. So let me not act like the athleticism, the athleticism is all on one side, because I'll be honest with you, it's not. It's definitely not. Like when you look at this pacemakers team, right? So obviously, well, Rossi himself, right? Rossi's an athlete, but I've done some games. Justin White. He's a Division
Mm-hmm.
One player playing on this team,
Yeah,
right?
big
And
defender.
he's not even like the top receiver either on the squad. Angelo Namaja, I've talked about him a lot on the podcast. I'll talk about him again. This brother can play. Fabrice Pierre, I talked about him last week. He can play. Like Kevin Pierre, his brother, he can play as well. Yeah, they got some weapons on this team. So I'm gonna go pacemakers. I'm gonna say 32-28 pacemakers.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with you too. I think if also Jason Rossi kind of uses his legs, so get me wrong, he could if he has to move, he can move, you know. So I think if he uses his legs that game too, I think they're gonna win a bit more comfortable. I think they win by double digits. I think they're going to win by at least by 10. So I would say like 36-26, something around those lines.
Okay, cool.
So that's it for Division D1. Let's go
Let's
into
go D2.
Division D2.
Okay,
For
so
Division D,
I got the matchups. So I got the matchups in front of me. I'll do it.
okay.
Number one, the Bandits. They're taking. So we had a bit of a shift. So Super Saiyans. I remember talking to Jordan Allard last week. Right, 'cause he was a ref from Papineau. He's like, we need to win our regular season finale and get some help. So looking at the regular season finale, they took on. Come on. Yeah, so they ended up beating New Kids 2.0 32-20 this past Sunday in Laval. So that was the first part of the equation. The second part is they needed Trinity to basically lose. Trinity forfeited, basically. So that's why the Super Saiyans have the eighth seed instead of Trinity. Hey, by hook or by crook, you get in, right? So now it's gonna be
What
the Bandits Super Saiyans.
they forfeited as they couldn't make their game, so they forfeited. So the 9 seed took their spot.
I don't know. That's why I was waiting to hear back from. He texted me and I go, "How'd you guys get in?" Because I was looking at the standings. He goes, "Yeah, Trinity veteran squad, they forfeited."
Okay,
So
they
I'm gonna,
forfeit. So that yeah, that's also a rule too for people that don't know. If for some reason
yeah,
the lower seed of you forfeits, the team that's under them will be asked by the league to ask if you want to be inside the playoffs. Some teams actually say no. Some teams also say, "Oh, we're not going to have a team. We can't fit a team either." And then it gets kind of complicated when you go down, and then it's to a point like, okay, screw it, we're just going to have the forfeit. But in the case for Super Saiyans, it came to a point where okay, well they're going to forfeit instead of having no one play that game. And have Bandits kind of get a free win.
yeah,
Super Saiyans got asked,
yeah.
and it's actually a rule, or it's I'm
Mm.
not sure if it's a rule book, but it's actually like a rule in FPF where that does happen. So Bandits don't be there complaining, saying, "Oh, that doesn't make sense. We should have a free win, forfeit, whatever." It's actually is a rule that
Oh,
does get
there
applied
you go.
every
Yeah.
single season. But okay,
It's,
so
it's, it's, it's good when common sense prevails. It's a good thing, and that's the case here, right? You can't make your game. Why have the Bandits get a free pass? Give the team right below you. Again, these teams finish with 8 points each. They're both 4-6, right? So I
yeah,
mean, it's not like it's some team was like 2-8. Now we're in. No, not at all.
yeah, no, exactly.
Uh, yeah. Who do you have in this game? Bandits and Super Saiyans.
Well, I'm gonna give it to Bandits. Bandits look great this
Yeah,
year. Super
yeah.
Saiyans, don't get me wrong. I like Super Saiyans. We talked about them last season. I was kind of surprised. I think they went 3-7, or they didn't win that many games. With but I mean, this year they finished 4-6. Again, they technically missed playoffs, but they're in playoffs. But three-way tie. Like at the end of the day, they did better than last season. I'll give them that. I just don't. I just don't think they're going to be able to be Bandits. I think the only way they can win this game out is they're going to have to slow down the game. Like, they don't want to get into a shootout. They're going to want to make sure like you know when a ref says 5 seconds, like you're playing offense, the ref goes 5,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
offense you run. You do dinks and donks, 3 yards, 4 yards, and you're looking at the ref and he goes 5, and you're like, all right, 5, because you don't want to go into shootout with Bandits. That's one thing you do not want to go with these guys. They can score
Yeah.
points. They definitely can score points, and their defense is sound. So, like, it's to a point where let them get frustrated. Do your dinks and your donks, whatever your crosses, slant left, slant right, triple slants right, super slants left. Just try to manage the time where they can take advantage and score a billion points. When you're playing defense, play 3 deep. Make your corners come down. Don't run a 1-3-5 because that's so obvious. Run a 2-3-5. Run a 3-4-1. So guys that are dropping, it looks kind of differently. But you're saying you're not being as deep. You're gonna beat us short. You're gonna make us drive in the field, but you're not showing as 1-3-5 when everyone knows what 1-3-5 is, right? When you see 1-3-5, you can just run on hooks. It's easier. When you run the 2-3-4 or 1-4-5, it's a different look, right? So run stuff like that, and then to the point, if you're gonna lose that game, it's gonna be because maybe converts, but not to a point where you got into a shootout with a team that's gonna drop at least 40 plus on you, like no problem.
Yeah, so these two teams met a couple weeks ago in week 10 in Papanoy. Score kept that game. Bandits went 54-44, and like I said, it was a shootout. It was a shootout. Super Saiyans ended up, a guy got injured in the game. So health wise, I think they should be back to normal. They do have some weapons on this team. Marty Freeman, obviously, again, a higher division guy playing here. Tom Gatehouse, veteran. They have some guys. Yeah, Zach Goldstein's the guy that got injured last game. Hopefully, he'll be back. Bandits is a more athletic team. I will say that without a doubt. I think you have to pressure Emil Scaff. You have to force him to make bad throws because Emil Scaff is again a quarterback that he's talented. I can't act like he's not. He's talented, but he will throw some ints if you bait him enough. He will throw ints. I know Jordan Allard's smart. The rest of his defense. I mean, I think Jordan Allard's the best player on this team. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be on the rest of his defense. Guys like Troy Rothjam and Greg Durfell and those guys, Sam Ertz, to produce some ints. Right. This team, they have a lot of ball hawks. Actually, this team in the regular season, at least, they have 16 picks. And they have a good rusher in Johnny Johnson, right, with 12 sacks. So this defense can get after them. I'm tempted to call an upset here, man. I'm tempted to call an upset. I've played against the Bandits before. It's not that I don't trust them. They're the better team without a shot of a doubt. I just something about them. There's something not as a complete team, but there's something small about them that I don't trust. I just can't put my finger on what it is. I'm gonna say Super Saiyans in the upset over the Bandits. There you go.
Okay. Next matchup, we have Team Ethic versus Richard.
Richard BFO, yeah.
BFO. That should be a really good team too. That should be a really good. Actually, Richard is that? I'm trying to. That's Victor, the team. Yeah, okay, that's a mile off. Yeah.
Nick DeMarlo, they're winning this game. I'm sorry. Listen, I respect Benoit Lawler. He's another guy playing quarterback. Like, he loves to air it out. They can't play it from behind. This team cannot play it from behind. When you make them one-dimensional, Lawler and his offense, you sit back and the picks will come, or the bat downs will come. They can't play it from behind. They got some athletes. They got some good players on this team. Don't get me wrong. They like Abdel Martin, my main man there. Shout out to him. Backley Charles. These guys can ball. David DeAndrade, but like once you get them, once they're behind by a touchdown or two, you know what's coming, and you just have to sit back and wait. Malinoff and those guys have more team speed than they do. Nick DeMarlo is the best player on the field for either side. I'm going with Richter BFO here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with you. I do like Team Ethic just because they've been playing with each other a lot. That's why offensively they score a lot of points. Defensively, I think they're a bit slower. It's more older guys. Guys have been in this league for a while, so I think sometimes you kind of lose a step, especially when you're playing versus a young team like Richter. I mean, it's a young group of guys, so they probably could take advantage of that. So they are going to score points. So I would give them more of the benefit more towards that side. And again, you're kind of saying I do think this game could get out of hand pretty fast if Team Ethic throws a bit. If they throw about 2 INTs, I think this game's going to be done by halftime, and they're going to probably lose by 20. But if somehow they kind of can maybe change their game plan, because again, they're a team that likes to score. We kind of see in the standing, they scored 339 points this season, so that's averaging 33 points a game, which is a lot. But if they kind of maybe could change their game plan and not force any of the deep balls where they're probably an interception, they can make it a closer game than we would think. But I'm going to give it to BFO to end up winning that game.
PSTM, Texas Wales. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go Texas Wales. I think they're bigger body compared to PSTM. I played both these teams last season. Texas Wales looked way more impressive, and I think they're just more athletic.
Yeah, they're more athletic, and you're 100% right about the size. Like you look at Alessandro Daniel, guy actually subbed on my team this past Sunday. This guy's a monster. This guy very soon. I know he's subbed on like plenty of fish in some mid to semi-higher divisions. He played on my Division C team. This guy should be playing in like Division C and up. Like he's a beast. Him and another guy I'm buddies with, Elio Cariglia. Like this guy can ball. He's not the tallest guy, but this guy can ball. Chaz Pisanelli, another guy like on this team, like he could ball as well. Samuel Terra. Like I respect and I like I respect and I like PSTM. We've talked about them a lot the last couple of years in the podcast. They're a physical team as well. They doesn't have any size. And I think, like I said, Texas Wales, they have a lot of size on the team. PSTM won't be able to stop them the entire game.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think when it comes athletic wise, I think Texas Wales is going to take advantage of that. Those deep balls where they're only one of their. I mean, they have McMalley, which is again great defender, but it's not enough. Like he only could do so much for this team. And I think Texas Wales is going to take advantage of it on the deep balls, the jump balls, to a point where they're the bigger team, and this sense is going to matter.
100%.
And then
Shockers.
Yeah, we finished with Shockers and Delicious and Delicious, which I think is actually going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah, you and me both.
I think it's going to be a pretty 100%. Good game.
I mean, you look at the Shockers team, right? A lot of FPF vets, Danny Demore, Joey Taylor, right? Gab Wiseman, Cody Stark, Matt Rupchich, right? Even Julian McLaren Thompson, he's eligible to play. Like, these guys have been there and done that. I know they have an injury. Shout out to Chris Casamajor. He's gone for the year, and he I don't know if he tore his meniscus, but he's walking around for cane. Last time I saw him 2 weeks ago. So they have this guy. Shockers are a good team, and they've been there and done that before. Joey Taylor still throws some ugly balls, but he's a good dude and he's a winner. He's won tons of championships in this league. Vicious and delicious, right? I mean, listen. They have weapons, right? Olivier McDuff, John Sebastian St. Arnaud. I've talked about him a lot. Obviously, Dylan Boudreau, one of the leaders on the team, Anthony Robichaud, those guys. I just think that Shockers or Vicious and Delicious have a lot of vets. Shockers have even more vets and vets that have won championships at various levels in FPF. I'd be shocked if the Shockers don't get the W in this one. Yeah,
me too. The one thing I do have to say about Vicious and Delicious is this: it's guys have been playing with each other for a while. So I think, don't get me wrong, Shockers too, but I don't think it's that team as a whole has been playing with each other for that long. I think they kind of just went, okay, you to a point where Vicious and Delicious, I feel like they've been like they have good chemistry. So I think if they can get this win, it's going to be more on chemistry, not more on athletic talent wise. I think I'll give it more to the Shockers on that side. But again, I think it's going to be we're going to have some pretty good quarterfinal matchups until leading to semifinals. Let's get into Division C. And that's your division.
Yep. So Beer Belly Brigade, they beat my team 39-37 on Saturday. Credit to them. They were the better team. My team came out flat. We gave them like a 2-touchdown lead. That happens when you have guys showing up 5 minutes before the game. Trust me, I got into my team about that. Listen, we played like trash and we lost by 2. They made plays when they had to make plays. That's simply what it was. I honestly, I think I had the worst game ever in my life. I was horrible. I was horrible on defense. At one point I took myself out of the game, and then because they kept going at me, I had a bad game. I couldn't stop anybody. It was horrible. So I'll take that loss on my shoulders. My team will be back. I know we're playing the Packers on Saturday, so that should be interesting. Looking, I don't know why my computer is acting super slow right now. I know Uncle Rico Riders are playing Beer Belly Brigade. Uncle Rico Riders, they can knock them off. I don't think they will, but they can knock them off. There's another veteran team that has some talent. They play up and down to the competition, Uncle Rico Riders. So I mean, they lost a big one actually this past weekend. Where if they had won, actually I think we would have faced them. Or anyway, it doesn't matter. I expect. Yeah, here's the standings right here. Yeah, Uncle Rico Riders, like I said, are the eighth seed. Um, they they're going to be in tough. I mean, listen, they finished 5-4-1, so not a losing record, but not a great record either. Um, yeah, you're right. The website is acting up a bit here. And they did not play Beer Belly Brigade this season. But yeah, sorry, the game I was talking about. So Uncle Rico Riders had a chance to play Mangoose. They did. Final week of the season, Mangoose beat them by 3. So that was is the reason why Uncle Rico Riders are in eighth. I expect Beer Belly Brigade to get the win. Peckers team supposed to play them in week 1. We did not. They had the forfeit. I've seen them play a little bit this season. Some veterans on the team, some young kids on the team as well. They're fast, they're athletic. I expect a good game. I expect a really good showing out of them. Jagerbomb and the Hustlers. Listen, the Hustlers can score. The Hustlers can put up some points, man. The Hustlers have, I think, the third best offense in the division, 374 points in the regular season, right? These guys can score. Jagerbomb, though, is like a well-oiled machine. They had a chance to beat Bear Billy Brigade as well. They couldn't. So they obviously want to prove that the Jagerbomb are contenders, which they are. They want to prove that, right? So I expect them to beat the Hustlers, but an extremely close game. All Blacks and Mangoose. I've seen both teams play a lot this season. More recently, I've seen Mangoose play. I mean, Thomas Couture, Gaspar Surinac, these guys, it's a dynamic duo for the squad. I think Oliver Suri as well is playoff eligible. They have some weapons. All Blacks, though, they have some weapons too. We talked about them a bit last week, right? Like Sam LaChance and that Justin Melrose. I don't know which quarterback I trust more in this contest. It's Felix Antoine Laving. He either plays pretty good or horribly. He's a good dude, but it's either one or the other. There's very little in between with him. It is the playoffs, and Yannick Bissonnette. I've only seen him play a bit. When I have seen him, he hasn't looked that bad. I think whichever quarterback makes the least amount of mistakes, that team will win. I'm gonna pick Mangoose just because the veterans they have on this team, because some of those guys do play in Division B usually with Mangoose.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pick Mangoose, but ever so slightly.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you were kind of saying. If my picks, I'm gonna take all backs. All backs. I don't trust Mongoose and their quarterback. I don't know what it is. I just don't trust them. For the commission versus the Peckers, I'm gonna take you guys. Juggerbomb versus Hustlers. I think that's gonna be a very good game. Juggerbomb again, vets. They've been playing for so long. I remember I used to play them back in the day in Division C and D, and they pretty much nothing really changed. I think they kind of again older group of guys, but I think Division C, I think it works out for them. So I'm going to take Juggerbomb. And then for Bear Belly Brigade versus Uncle Rico Riders, I'm going to just take Bear Belly Brigade. I think this is their year. I think they kind of proved all year, finishes 10-0. They kind of made a statement. I think at this point, I think like for them, I think they need to win. Like it's now or never at this point. So I'm going to give them the win, and hopefully they can make a deep playoff run.
Yeah. And let's say for Beer Belly Brigade, like, sorry, not for Bear. Actually, no. Well, for Beer Belly Brigade, I think they need to move out to Division B. I think they did it a couple years ago. It wasn't that great for them, but they're 10-0. If they go all the way, which I don't think they will, but if they do, they should go up. And I think for Jagerbomb, I mean, I've told Simon this year, and I'm tired of seeing him in Division C. He's a Division 2 quarterback, and they have some Division 2 weapons, but Division B, I should say. But we'll see what happens. Moving to Div B, so we have Idaho Utapims finishing with the best record in the division, finishing 9-1. Pretty impressive team.
Yeah, I have a bone to pick with you in Division B, but when we get down to it, we'll go to it. So we did actually have the first round for quarterfinals for Division B, where I got to watch all these games, so they're pretty interesting. But from your kind of talking about FPF Most Wanted played Idaho, and your article that you wrote, Idaho is one of the best teams, and they kind of showed it. It got chirpy a bit. Both these not chirpy, but it got intense. It got very intense with both these teams. It came to a point.
FPF Most Wanted. Come on now, get out of here.
It came to a point where what's the quarterback's name for FPF Most Wanted? Barra. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Barra. Yeah, Barra end up. Anyways, they needed to stop. They got to stop. They needed a
Mhm.
2 point convert. They got the 2 point convert. And then they needed their stop. They got the stop. Like everything was going so well for them. They end up scoring a touchdown. They made it 32-32. They go for a 1 point convert, which they get a delay a game, which you never see. So you get a delay a game, so they get 10 yards
Okay.
back. So instead of going one from the 5, it's one from the 10, right? Or yeah, one
Mhm.
from the 10. Yeah. So anyways, Barrett, I think they did a 2 quarterback system. Barrett ends up getting the ball, throws it to Anthony Lazara right in his hands. Like he's coming across the field, right in his hands, has the ball, and it just drops out of his hands. So the game is 32-32. And Idaho has maybe about a minute left, a good amount of time left, don't get me wrong, for them to score. But I think the momentum kind of switched over towards Idaho after not getting that convert. I think if FPF Most Wanted had the momentum going, they got the stop, they got the 2 point convert where it's scoring, like they had the momentum going. And then all of a sudden, I feel like it just kind of switched over. Idaho did their dip and dump passes. They do their stupid drag thing where they love Marvin coming across the field, hit Marvin right away. Marvin ran like 10, 15 yards, and they ended up driving. They ended up scoring. Then they went for one, didn't get it. FPF Most Wanted had 2 plays left. I think they had 11 seconds, 13 seconds. First play, ball is overthrown Ezeki, Tide, the
Oh, I think it's
former.
tied. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think it's
I think
tied. Yeah.
it's overthrown to him. So last play, they end up dropping 2 quarterbacks. Okay, this is where it didn't make sense. So Barrett drops. I forgot who they dropped, but they drop one of the twins, one of the Soprano brothers, Soprano brothers. So they drop him. Barrett throws the ball to him. He catches it. The rusher goes towards this guy, and then the rusher, the big guy from Idaho, I forgot his name, but he's a
Yeah.
very big body.
Grabby, yeah.
But anyway, so he's going to the other quarterback. He throws it back to Barra. Barra has the ball in his hands. The rusher, now they send 2 rushers, Idaho. The rusher's coming towards Barra, and he has it, and like he caught it in a very awkward way, but he had maybe 2 to 3 seconds to make a throw. So he's about to make the throw, and he like kind of glitches out, and he doesn't throw the ball. So it ends up being a sack. And when I'm saying like this play lasted maybe 15 seconds, everyone was in the end zone waiting for a jump ball. And you had 2 really, really good athletes. You had Ezeki and you had the other guy from University of Montreal. I'm blanking his name.
Wheaton's Alexander.
Yeah, you had these 2 guys in the big receivers. One is that used to play for literally BC Lions. And then you had another one that's probably I feel like he's good enough to probably go in the CFL. So you have like 2 of the top receivers, and they're just waiting for the ball. And Barra has the arm to get the ball down the field. It's not like he can't throw 40 yards, you know?
Yeah.
So he kind of glitches, and he doesn't throw the ball. So he just takes a sack. And that's how the game ends. Like a straight sack. And I was just like, I'm kind of looking, I'm just like what? What did I just witness? So Idaho sneaks out there. They get the win. I mean, at the end of the day, if FPF Most Wanted score, they would have to get a convert, and then they have to go overtime. So it would have been a bit different. And then you had next matchup was Bruins versus Les Pizzicahat, where that game came down literally
down to the wire.
Yeah, that game came down to the wire too, so that was very entertaining. I kind of went to go see when I was watching that game. It was, again, I think at the time it was a one point lead for Pizza Hut. So and then I kind of was starting to warm up, but again, that's a very good game. I talked to Joanne as well too, and I think he was kind of saying if they got a 2 point convert, they pretty much would have won the game, or they would have had a chance to win the game.
Well, that's it, because Chris Verrill scored a touchdown on the second to last play of the game. They had a choice to go for 1 to go to OT or go for 2 in the win. They went for 2. They didn't get it though.
Yeah, so exactly, you're saying that they went for 2 to win the game, they would have won, and then unfortunately they didn't. So we had 2 games that came down to the wire, and then now we could talk about what you said in the article. You said Kempe Saint-Boutte was gonna upset us.
Yeah, I know, man. They were on a hot streak, man. They had won about 4 of the last 5 games, and I was like, I wasn't too sure who's going to be there for you guys, who wasn't. I know you, like, I was wrong. I mean, listen, you read the articles and you try to get some headlines and stuff, and obviously that's a headline. Shout out to Jeff, 7 touchdown passes. You got one of them. Nick Rapini got 2. Rory Submerging got 3. Obviously, you guys balled on, did what you needed to do. I didn't expect you guys to drop 55 points on them. That's a tip of the hat to you guys for sure on that. Pardon me, excuse me. Yeah, that was impressive. And
Yeah.
Serge Pilon Jr. was there, right?
Yeah.
Alessandro Daniel, that kid, he was there.
They
Full squad for Capi
well they
Sabute.
were
You guys let
they
him
were
up at
missing
55-38.
they're missing. I want to say they're missing Marvin. Marvin was as a
Oh yeah,
defender.
Marvin Renault and my boy okay, he wasn't there either actually.
Victor.
Denny
I don't
Martel.
think
Okay,
Victor
fine.
Boutte was there either, but I don't think he was eligible to play. But they're
No,
missing. I think they're.
Victor. I thought the Victor. He's actually not on the team. He was just subbing the shirt. He's not on the
Oh,
team.
okay. Oh yeah, Camping Sans Boutte. So Victor Boutte. Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Capping without him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Denny Martel wasn't there, and Marvin Renault. Marvin Renault, those are 2 big losses actually. Those 2 guys combined for 10
Yeah, because
touchdowns. Martel and Renault.
yeah, they. I mean, it is a loss at the end of the day. It's exactly. But we were. I mean, I don't want to say. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, they were there. We're still going to drop 55. It didn't. It didn't help the fact there are only 6 guys playing. But again, one thing that Mark Gaucho said, he's like, I don't know how you guys are playing Division B. He's like, it doesn't make sense because if you look at our roster, to be honest with you, and again, if you fit the roster fits. You know, it is what it is. And Division B, they kind of switched up for a lot of more powerhouse rosters to kind of go. And if you're coming from C to B, you could add some more players as well too. So, but our rosters kind of sounded up and down to up. Like I feel like the only way we lose games is if 1, Jeff plays very horrible, or 2, Jeff plays really horrible. I think at the end of the day, it's on Jeff.
Well,
No, I honestly think like if you look at our team, like we have vets, we have top guys. Rory was literally a machine. Like he was carrying the team when it had to be. Guys were missing tackles on him. Jeff was throwing the ball like I haven't seen Jeff throw some of the passes he did. And those are some of the passes that he missed. I think he missed Khalil a couple of times on some corners. He missed Ethan a couple on some goes. But like he was good. And he also ran too. He ran for a first down as well too. He kind of pump faked. He pump faked, looked left, looked right to look. He was looking towards me, and then I kind of went up to kind of like okay, like just put it up there. And he just started sprinting. He ran for 11, 12 yards. He twisted his hips. He looked pretty good out there. So I mean, for us it was a big win. We're kind of happy about it. We're going to take it. You know, our next matchup is going to be Le Pizzica, so we're kind of looking forward for that. But moving forward for the last game, we finished with Silent Ticklers versus Speed Academy, where Silent Ticklers just dominated. They won that game 41-26. Speed Academy is kind of watching it. It was going on the same time we were playing, but I was kind of like looking back and forth, and it just looked like Silent Ticklers did whatever they wanted, and Speed Academy just looked out of place. They looked like they were not a playoff team. Like, you know, when you go into a show and you're like the stars, all the lights are bright on you and you're kind of just folded. I think that's what we got from Speed Academy, losing that game 41-26. So again, it's a veteran Silent Ticklers team. It's to a point where they're used to playoff matchups. So for them, it's like it's a regular Wednesday. You know, they're play football. They're gonna drink some beers after. For them, it's whatever. But I feel like for Speed Academy, it was more experience wise, and they're just not ready. They just didn't show up.
100%. I think I picked Speed Academy in my article. Speed Academy again, one of the hottest teams in the second half. I think they went 4-1, or they went 4-5 or 5-6 in the second half of the season. Silent Ticklers playing like hot garbage the second half of the season. I called them out. Like they hadn't looked good in a while. And I honestly thought momentum's is a serious thing, especially come playoff time. I thought Speed Academy had all of it. Silent Ticklers again, they've been playing like they're lost in quicksand. And hey, listen, credit to them, they proved me wrong. Silent Ticklers with the big W, knocking off Speed Academy. Disappointing for Speed Academy because it seemed like over the second half of the season they got their act together and started playing up to the caliber that their talent suggests they should. But you can't come on and deliver that type of performance in the postseason and expect to win.
So moving forward for Division B, the next matchups, we have 2 matchups in semifinals. You have Hard 8 versus Le Pizzica Hut. So we're going to have a rematch of week 1. I believe that's when we played each other. And then we're going to have Idaho Ute Pimps, versus Silent Ticklers. Which to me, to be honest with you, I think those are going to be two good matchups.
Oh yeah.
Regardless,
Oh, yeah.
whoever goes to the finals, I think we're going to have a very good final matchup at the end of the day of it.
I said, well, I'll pick, but I have Hard Eight and you guys. Sorry, Hard Eight and Idaho playing in the final. So obviously, I have them winning the semis.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I mean, I'm definitely going to pick my team, but I think Idaho is. I think they're gonna be a bit too much for Silent Ticklers. I think it's gonna be a shootout, but I just think Idaho's gonna score more 2-point converts, and I think they're just gonna be in more control.
And I think Idaho also realizes they probably got lucky last week, so I think they'll come up a bit more focused and less mistakes this time.
Exactly. Moving to Division A to kind of just get over the 6-versus-6 men's. We only had one game. So we had Vultures versus Fins Up, where Vultures literally basically told Fins Up, enjoy your vacation, your season's over, winning that game 40-20. So they pretty much they sent them packing, told them to get their passports ready, and basically sent them to Cancun.
Yeah, man, a battle between the 4 and 5th seed, right? And it's not like these teams were separated by a lot of standings. Both teams finished 3-7 in the regular season. I'm surprised it was so one-sided again. Both veteran teams with a lot of playmakers. You can even make the argument that Fins Up has a better roster than Vultures, but credit to Ben McMahon and his guys. 5 TD passes, whereas Will Power only threw 2, Simon Deschênes threw 1, and yeah, you're not going to win too many playoff games if you only score 20 points, especially when you give up 40, right? Like, one-sided game, not much to talk about, I don't think.
No, exactly. And then going forward, we're going to have the 1 seed versus the 4th seed and the 2 seed versus 3 seed. So I believe it's Vultures versus One Stop, and then Easy W versus the Braves. Going into the semis.
I got Braves and I got One Stop in a tight game over Vultures.
Yeah, me too. I think that's going to be. Well, I mean, again, we're kind of saying if One Stop, this is your year. If you want to win a championship, it's like it's here or now. I feel like you guys are proving yourself a lot this year, and I think your biggest. I mean, don't look forward past the Vultures because again, if Benny gets hot, he gets hot. But your biggest don't look forward because again, Vultures could upset you, but I mean, like the biggest test is going to be the Braves in the finals because I don't see the Braves losing versus ECW in 100 years. So, where did you want to go to next?
Let's go 5v5. All right, let's go 5v5 intermediate. I score kept. I don't know, it's into the regular season actually.
Oh yeah, sure.
Let's go to intermediate here.
There's 2 games.
So looking at it here, so Void against Coconut Game. So I didn't score keep. I score kept the regular season finale for Coconut Game, but so Void beating Coconut Game 40-37 Monday at Mary Fig, and then Muddy Schmucks in the tight one 21-14 over Poseidon's Kiss. So 2 really close games actually to start the playoffs in intermediate 5v5.
Yeah, I believe that Coconut Gang was missing some of their players too, so they were kind of low on players, so they played what they kind of had, and then Void had their full roster, and they ended up winning that game 40-37, and then Poseidon's Kiss, which is like, they're kind of they're getting used to the format. They end up dropping it to Mighty Ducks, and that's and then so now I think we have Flag Vengers versus Void. And the semis, and we have Junkyard Ducks versus Mighty Schmuck. So the 1 seed versus the 5th seed versus 2 seed versus the 3 seed. And to be honest, I think the 1 and 2 seed are going to win. I think we're going to have Flag Vengers versus Junkyard Dogs in the finals.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right on this one. I score kept Junkyard Dogs against Mighty Schmucks earlier in the year, back in week 2. Junkyard Dog won that 42-27. So I mean, and I think I scored kept the second game actually too. That was at Stade de Soccer back at the end of July. Mighty Schmucks winning that one 27-24. So the rubber match will take place this week.
Mm-hmm. I guess we could kind of talk about competitive again. There's not that's done for intermediate. Looking at competitive again, how it works. It's the 4th seed versus the 5th seed. So we're gonna have Party Crashers versus Raw Dogs, and the winner of that we're gonna have the winner of that will play the number 1 seed, and then the 2 seed versus 3 seed is already locked up. That's gonna be Braves versus Flag Moi. Again, the dates are set on the schedule. Just the times aren't, because we do have some playoff conflicts of teams playing on more than one team. So you don't want to be playing a team. I guess you don't want to play at noon and then all of a sudden you play at 6 o'clock. I think they're trying to get teams playing back to back and stuff like that. So, but those are the matchups right now. You're gonna have Party Crashers versus Raw Dogs. I believe Party Crashers should take care of business, even though that they are losing two of their star players. I think Raw Dogs this year just have been not the greatest. And then Braves versus FlagPlus, I think it's going to be interesting, but I think Braves are going to take that down as right now as the two matchups that we do know of.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you're. I mean, again, you're losing Jean-C Alessi, obviously, for Party Crashers, but I mean, you could have Emerson Peterkin, you could have Gucci throwing, so it's not as if you're gonna have like someone that's never has no experience starting, right? So that's gonna be interesting to see how that one goes. Like you, I expect Party Crashers to get the W there. Um, yeah, I mean, with the other matchup, I mean, it's interesting. I think Braves and Flag One, right? You can't ask for a better matchup. Two veteran teams. Joe Michael, I imagine, will be throwing. Alex Nano, please. I'll give the edge to the Braves. I think these teams are more evenly matched than the points for and points against. Sig. And one team, Braves 7-3, Flag One 6-4. I think the Braves will win a close one.
Mm-hmm. To be interesting. So that's it for men's 5v5. Let's go to comp 5v5 and take away all the 5v5s. Co-ed comp 5v5.
Co-ed 5v5, yeah.
Yeah, so I believe, it's opening up for me. I know there's, do the two teams get a bye? It's not opening up.
So right now there's nothing in the playoff schedule, I think.
Yeah, so the playoff schedule, nothing's going to be out because the playoff because the conflicts. The playoff standings, to kind of just get out the way, because we know who's playing who, and that was the biggest issue. We didn't know who's playing who, so we could kind of talk about the matchups right away. The 1 and 2 seed gets by, so the IG team, actually, good job for them. They ended up winning the last 2 games of the season, so they finished 7-3. I thought they weren't going to do that. I thought they were going to lose, so good for them. They end up coming out of there. They end up going 7-3, tied with the Airbuds that are also 7-3. One second, I'm just going to let my dog in real fast.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they end up both finishing 7-3. So we're gonna have the IG team Airbugs get the number 1 seed bye, 1 and 2 seed bye. Then you're gonna have
activated maple syrup
versus maple syrup, and then a Tuski versus Flag Noir. Tuski versus Flag Noir should be a very good game, depending who's going to be there to play, because it's kind of like Braves versus Flag Noir, like we just add women as well in the teams, so it's kind of interesting how they're going to play versus each other in 5v5 men's, and then now they're going to play each other in co-ed 5v5, so it's going to be interesting to see. And then maple syrup, they struggled a lot this year, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can kind of get out that hump of going 2-8 and end up maybe having a little upset and trying to win an air co-ed title. We talked about them a bit. They were the top of the top teams. I think they won 3 or 4 co-ed championships. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be one and done here, or they're going to be able to make a playoff run. So those are the two matches we have going into the quarters, and then we're going to have semis, the winners of that playing the 1 seed versus the 2 seed.
Yeah, again, and it's going to be interesting, right? I mean, like you talked about the matchups. Every team is a veteran squad. There's no newbies here. Everyone has multiple years of experience, winning championships, or at the very least playing in Division 2, Division 1, or A and B, whatever the case may be, right? This can go either way. I mean, you guys and the IG team are the best teams. I would say you guys are the best teams again. No Jordanson, no Jean-C Alexi, right? The Alexi brothers are done for the year. There's still some talent on this IG squad, like you said, hence why they're able to finish off the regular season on somewhat of a winning note. I expect you guys to win it all. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, not necessarily. So I mean, it's going to be up to the other teams to make something happen. Every team is talented here. Like this, I think this is the one division where anybody can really win it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Okay, Maple Syrup again, horrible regular season, especially by their standards. Were they waiting to the playoffs to get right? We're going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah, let's go to Women's C. Get that out the way. So Women's C again. We only get 2 matchups, so that's going to be this Friday. We talked about it a bit to see if both A-Town teams are going to make playoffs. For them, they did. The Rock actually had a chance to win their game. At halftime, they were beating Obsidian 13-0, and they just kind of
Yeah.
folded and ended up losing that
Yep.
game. So unfortunate for them, it would have been kind of cool to see them win that game because they would have snuck in and knocked out Les Valkyries. They would have knocked them
Yep.
out of the playoffs, which would have been insane because I don't think a lot of people would have saw that. But unfortunately for them, they finished 2-8, and we get our playoff matchups, and we have Les Valkyries versus Run Like a Girl for the first matchup. Where to be honest, I think Run Like a Girl is going to be able to take that game. The Valkyries kind of struggled all year long, not in a sense where it was that bad. Way better than A-Town Black. I feel like they played better than that, and also Lionless as they scored the third amount of points scored. So I mean, they didn't do so bad like that. Like their record, the fact that they're 3-7, it's closer than what people think. I mean, it's not. The record is not what people like. It doesn't look what the record actually is what I'm trying to get at. But I think Run Like a Girl, I think they're just the more better team. And then A-Town Black versus Lionless is going to be very interesting, just because Lionless only have 5 girls that's going to play that game, and it's to a point where you guys finished season 4 and 6. Congratulations, it's better than finishing 0 and 10 last year. But like, I'm kind of scared to see those 5 girls actually play. I'm not saying they're horrible girls playing. It's just it's not the same girls I've been like they've been playing all year long, but you don't have the other girls that were there with you going into this playoff match. So
that's it. There's no continuity on this team. I talked to Brianna Terraconi, obviously a friend of mine, one of the leaders, one of the main keys on his team, and she said that's been the problem this season. I haven't been the same kind of group of girls. It kind of rotates every game pretty much. So that's what this in the playoffs that kind of bites you in the ass. They did beat A-Town Black in the one regular season meeting though. They beat them 26-6, right? That was back in week 5, back mid-June pretty much. So, I mean, at least they have that on their side. I think Lioness, depending on like again, they have more talent than A-Town Black. Let's be honest here. I'm not trying to throw any shit at A-Town Black. It is what it is. One team has older players in Lioness and somewhat better players too, right? So it's going to be, are those players going to be able to put they're only 5 ladies, right? Can they pull off the win though against a team who is deep in A-Town Black, right? So I mean that's going to be interesting to see. I think this one could go either way. I'll give the slight edge for me at least to Lioness, but if A-Town Black gets the W, I definitely won't be surprised.
that's very generous of you that you're going to give the side towards. Actually, you said the side towards Lioness or A-Town Black.
Lioness.
Yeah, it's very generous for you because
All
the
right,
fact, like,
all right.
yeah, you did beat a team 26-6, but you had a bunch of subs. So it's like, yeah, you had your main girls, but if you had 3-4 subs that game and those are the players that made a lot of plays, it's so much different playing with 5. 5 is also difficult. Like it's 5-5, it's a lot. You have your quarterback kind of running. You're gonna have a rusher playing both ways. Like if they have maybe 6-7 girls that were eligible to play in playoffs, I'd be like, oh, okay, no, but you're only 5 girls, and it's gonna be a lot. I mean, again, I honestly, and prove me wrong. I honestly don't think they're going to win. I think A-Town Black's going to take that game I don't want to say pretty easily, but I think they're going to win that game pretty easily. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. I think it's going to.
Oh, bulletin
I
board
think,
material, ladies. Bulletin board material right there.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
I mean, I think they're going to win that game pretty easy. But anyways, so those are the matchups between those two teams. Again, A-Town Black versus Lioness, Les Valkyries versus Run Like a Girl. I have Run Like a Girl and Lioness. Run Like a Girl and A-Town Black. You have Run Like a Girl and Lioness, right? Okay, let's go to Division B, Women's B.
Sorry.
Division B, kind of looking at it. So playoff standings, one team didn't make it. Unfortunately, Cavaliers didn't finish season 1-9. Hopefully next season they kind of bump back. Again, we kind of talked about Cavaliers as a team that they're developing, right? A lot of it's practice, a lot of it's to get into the regular season. So it is what it is. Looking at the playoff looking at the playoff schedule, there's no playoff schedule. So there's no playoff schedule. So pretty much how it's going to work, playoff breakdown, it's the 1-2 seeds get a bye. So we're going to have the Wolfpack versus the Merge, and then we have the Originals versus La Sorority.
Sorority.
Yeah, sorority in the first matchup. Between the Wolfpack and the Merge, I'm going to give the Wolfpack the benefit of the doubt here. I'll win this game. Veteran team, again, the Merge is getting better. They kind of made that jump into women's B now. So I think they're going to get better here and there. This year, I think it's learning steps, right? I think they're kind of getting learned to it. They're learning how their team is. Again, they kind of cut their team in half and they merged a team together. So that's why they're called the Merge. So I think they're going to get better every year. I just don't think it's going to be their year this year. I think Wolfpack's going to take care of business and they're going to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I expect Wolfpack to take care of business. Again, they're a veteran team, right? Like I said, the Merge is kind of a team put together. There's some talent. Those ladies have some talent, but I expect the Wolfpack to pull out based on their veteran experience. Supporting the Originals, I mean, again, I think the Originals are one of the most talented teams in this division. I mean, the record's 6-4. I feel they should be better than that. But 6-4 actually, that's pretty decent considering there's three other teams at 6-4. I just thought they'd be closer to like 7-3, or maybe giving a Hebrew a run for the money for first place. But yeah, I think the Originals will get the W. Same thing for the Wolfpack.
And then we have the Originals versus La Société, where again, I'm going to give it to the Originals winning that game. I'm kind of unfortunate to see. I kind of wanted to see the Originals versus the Wolfpack in the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals.
Yeah.
So maybe you never know what's going to happen in the finals, but so far now, quarterfinals, I'm going to give it to the Originals on win that game. But I think it's going to be very close.
Yeah, no, I hear you 100%. I hear you 100%. I will say, so I watched the Hebrew Cavaliers game actually on Saturday. It was after my game at Saturday at ConU. Looking quickly, I know we talked about the Cavaliers already again, the one team not to make the playoffs, but those ladies came out hard, man. They almost actually knocked off Hebrew. They gave Hebrew a run for the money. Hebrew won that game 20-12. I believe they had pretty much all their players there. Emily Adam wasn't there, but I mean, they have most of their top players there for Hebrew. And I'm saying before the playoffs, you kind of deliver a stinky performance. You got the win, which matters most. That's the most important thing here. But they almost lost again. They were down. The Hebrew was down 12-6 at halftime. They outscored their opponents 14-0 after the break. But the Cavs, again, a young team. Hebrew, hopefully that's a learning lesson for them to not just come out and assume they'll get the W. Not to say that those ladies did that, but again, you beat a team with one win. You beat them by a touchdown. Not exactly the greatest showing as you march into the postseason.
For Hebrew. Yeah, for sure. Let's go to Women's A, which there's not that much to talk about Women's A. It's pretty much, I believe there's a bye.
Yeah, top two seeds get a bye. So Knicks and Purple Heat have a first round bye.
Yeah, so Nixon he get first round bye, and then if you're looking at the schedule, we're gonna have a matchup between. And we talked about this too. Again, we're gonna have a matchup between
versus Sparks and Blue Power Chaos.
Chaos, exactly. Yeah, we kind of talked about. Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about. So we kind of already talked about it a bit. Sparks versus Birds. I'm gonna give Birds the win, and then Chaos versus Blue Pod. I think that's gonna be a very good game, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
I think it's gonna be a good game. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna ride with Chaos and win that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Chaos and win that game.
I am not. I'm riding with Blue Paw to win that game. They have the superior offense, pardon me, between these two teams, and a much better defense as well. Again, I talked about it last week. Listen, Chaos in the playoffs, they know what they're doing. They know what it's about. They've been to plenty of championship games before, not in Women's A or Women's 1, if it's the winter, obviously. But these ladies know how to play some ball. I look at Blue Paw right now. Okay, Blue Paw lost the regular season finale. They got smoked by the Knicks. That happens. A lot of teams that got beat by the Knicks. They tied the Knicks actually the day before. They tied them 13-13 Saturday. They lost 33-7 Sunday. That happens. Blue Paw beat Chaos 2018 in week 11. They beat Chaos 44-26 in week 7. So Blue Pod is going for the sweep, three in a row against Chaos. I think they get it because I think their offense will outscore Chaos's offense. Chaos, again, has a talented team. If you line them up roster to roster, Chaos is actually the better team. It's just Blue Pod is playing better football this season. That's why I give them the W in this game.
Yeah. Blue Pod actually got destroyed. I was actually watching that game. Knicks is a good team. I know, we're I'm kind of going back here, but Knicks is a very good team. They're going to be a scary team to. I think they're going to win it all. to be honest with you. They also had the quarterback. They had Athena was in there. They had the quarterback that played for on sick. So she kind of came. I think she's going to Concordia now. She's going to be the starting quarterback because Sarah Parker is going to be gone there. Now. So she's kind of taking the role there. But next year it's going to be a scary team. Very, very, very scary team. Brent, I have a question for you. Before we get into co-ed 4, I'm kind of the same thing. I was laughing with my sister because her oven broke. Like basically her oven that she kind of puts on something. Her oven broke, right?
Wow.
And
laughing at her.
Sorry?
You're like a horrible brother.
Sorry, what?
I said you're a horrible brother. You're laughing at your sister. Her oven breaks.
No, because so sorry. Not her like what's not her oven? What's the thing you put on top? Like her her oven. So the whole thing was kind of no. Her whole thing was kind of messed up. Like when you put like pots and pans and stuff like that on it.
Dishwasher?
No. You put like pots, pan. You put the burner on. What's it called? Oven. Stove, stove. Stove, oven, stove, So you understood what I meant. Yeah, her stove oven broke, right? And so she has a stove, an oven, and then she has an air fryer. Okay? Yeah. But her air fryer doesn't work either.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was kind of laughing. Yeah, I was kind of laughing at her because this her oven, like her oven broke like a couple weeks ago, and then she was like gonna get a new one for my mom. So she didn't have an oven, and then her air fryer, like she had to get a new one. So, but my sister doesn't have her microwave, so she wasn't able to microwave any of her stuff. Oh, and then she doesn't have a toaster, so she doesn't have a microwave or a toaster because she had an air fryer. Because the air fryer you can use everything while you're using it.
Yeah, I have an air fryer as well. I use it for everything, but I still got a microwave and a toaster. Like,
no,
kind of need those things.
Didn't have those two things. So I kind of, so something I was kind of laughing about it. I was like, so what did you do? She's like, I just ordered food.
Well, you have no other option. That's like saying like you don't have a TV, but you got a radio. Like, I mean, yeah, that's good. I got a radio, but I mean, all right, fair enough. To each their own. Good. Yeah,
and then whatever. Then she got then her oven came back, and then everything was good. And then her air fryer, she got a new air fryer, so everything is good. But I just found it. I was kind of laughing because I was like, I wonder if a lot of people just like when you have an air fryer, like what's like. I know a lot of people when you have air fryer, like a microwave is to warm up, but you could warm a lot of things up in air fryers nowadays, or you could toast.
I never use my stove, dude. I never use my stove unless like having family for Thanksgiving. Fine. Other than that, and maybe like putting a pot of soup if I'm sick on the stove. I don't use my stove. Air fryer for everything, dude. To be honest.
Yeah. Anyways, I found that kind of funny. I was gonna ask you, but you have everything, or you have a microwave, you have an air fryer, you have all that.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm making some oxtail, then I'll use the stove.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly. Yeah. That's different. That's
Yeah.
But okay. Let's jump into
co-ed. He's a crock pot. He's a crock pot actually for oxtail, but man, it's whatever. Sorry, I have to use the bathroom. Just start co-ed, and I'll hop in with you, man. Sorry.
All right. So. Yeah, okay, no stress. Okay, so we're going to co-ed 4. Co-ed 4, very simple. 1 and 2 seeds get buys. So Flamingos and Delicious. Congratulations, you guys get a first round bye. Then we're gonna have number 1 team doesn't make playoffs. So Sac Appeal end up missing playoffs. They finished 2 and 8. They just miss out as the 7th seed, so unfortunately they are knocked out. And then we're gonna have the 3rd seed versus the 6th seed and the 4th seed versus the 5th seed. We have Too Fast Moami as the 3rd seed, playing versus Lemonins. They're playing each other. Brent's not here, but we actually got to see a little sneak peek of Too Fast Moami on our Instagram. Pretty much, they kind of had highlights between this team. They're good. They're a very good team. This year, they scored 333 points for, only allowed 196. They finished record 7-3, so just below Delicious, which they lost versus Delicious. That's the reason why they're the 3rd seed, not the 2nd seed. So I think they're going to take care of business. And then we have a really good matchup versus Catch My Balls versus Vodka Red Bull, which these are both 2 teams that finished 4 and 6 in the regular season. Catch the Balls, not that impressive on offense, only scoring 207, but only allowing 229. Other than Vodka Red Bull, were very impressive offense, scoring 280 and allowing 302. So we're going to have a powerhouse offense versus a powerhouse defense. So it's going to be offense versus defense. And you know how they kind of say defense wins championships. So I honestly think Catch My Ball is going to take care of business there. Just because I think defense does end up winning championships, and because I think their defense is a bit better. And the Catch My Balls, the fact that they only allowed 270 points this season, I think they're going to be able to score a lot of points on Vodka Red Bull. The fact that they allowed 302 points this year, and that's pretty much allowing 30 points all year long. So I think Catch My Balls could take advantage in that game. So I think we're basically going to have the third seed and the fourth seed taking care of business. And then we're going to have Flamingos versus Catch My Balls, and then Volition Delicious versus Too Fast Mo and Me. Again, we're going to have to wait and see for both these teams to play. Again, for the playoff, we actually have the times for the quarterfinals, so that's good. Both these teams are going to be playing Friday. You're going to have the first game for Vodka at 8:30, and then Too Fast by Me is going to be playing at 9:30. So that's pretty much it for Co-Ed 4. We're going to go into Co-Ed 3 now. Opening up Co-Ed 3, looking at the playoff standings. So this one's kind of a bit interesting. We had 9 teams in this division. Only 6 teams made it. So we end up having Fontaine Troop, Back That Pass Up, All Day Every Day, The Woos, Les Moines de Les Flag, and Michael Scott Tots. So those are the 6 teams that are making playoffs. We do have the number 1 and 2 seeds that do get a bye. So we're gonna for the first round of playoffs for the quarterfinals, we're gonna have All Day Every Day versus Michael Scott Tots, and Les Woos versus Les Moines de la Flag. Les Moines Le Flag. Yeah, Les Moines Le Flag. So that's going to be the 2 matchups in the quarterfinals. And I would have to say I would give it to Les Woos. Again, Woos, they also have been getting some, what's it called? What's it called when you, I'm blanking. Huh? No, they woo because momentum as well too. I'm saying exposure on Instagram and stuff like that. We post about them too. We kind of post them playing Mike Scott's Tots, where Mike Scott's Tots end up winning on the last play of the game for 1-point convert, but they're getting their name out, and I think they're going to take care of business as the better seed as well too. And to be honest, I think Michael Scott Tots are going to end up beating All Day Every Day, and I think that's going to be one of the upsets that we're going to see.
No, yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. Again, I'm a little biased. I'm friends with some of the guys on Michael Scott's Toss, but I do like their team. They're gritty. So I think they will get the upset victory as well, to be honest with you. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about it today when I was at work, and I was like, okay, who am I picking for this division? I have Michael Scott's Toss beating All Day Every Day. Looks at the 4 versus 5 matchup, Les Moines, the Flag, and the Wolves. I have the Wolves getting the W in that one.
Before we kind of go into Co-Ed 2, so I was kind of was like explaining on the teams that are in or out when you're gone. What do you think of the name Cactus as a team flag name?
Cactus?
Yeah.
Catch this or cactus? Like
Cactus,
the plant.
like the plant.
Yeah, it's all right, I guess. Sure.
Would you feel like it's a good team name?
It's not the worst. I've heard a lot worse. I mean, it's not the greatest either, but like I said, it's not the worst.
Okay. No, I was just curious because like right now with all the new flag teams that we have, I was just like, at this point you could just call it Team Cactus and you'd be like, oh, that's a fine team name.
I hear you. I mean, listen, like I said, every year now there's new names with younger guys too, especially more younger ladies, more creative and that. But yeah, I mean, it's not any worse than a couple of the names, and it's definitely not better than some of the names as well. But yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, anything as long as it's respectful.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything, whatever.
All right, let's go to Co-Ed 2 to kind of we have 2 more Co-Ed 2.
Co-Ed 1, yep.
Yeah, I have it just opening up here. I don't know if you have yours open. Sometimes
the website is crashing right now. It's kind of like the worst possible time.
Sometimes sometimes this happens. Okay, I have mine. Looking at this schedule standings. No, mine just okay. I have it. I got it. So co-ed 2. Crazy rookies end up jumping Plenty of Fish. So the rookies got the first round, the first seed. Plenty of Fish again. I'll say it again. Congratulations. I mean, I'm happy for you guys. You guys finished 9-1. Now let's see what they could do in the playoffs, right? Let's see if this is just a one and done. Let's see if they're able to make
better go
it.
far. There's a co-ed 1 team. There's a co-ed 1 roster. They should be. Julian McLaren Thompson told me they have their Div 1 team just wanted to go down to Div 2 because they've had it a little rough the last couple of seasons. I expect them to at least make the semifinals. If they don't, it's a massive disappointment for Plenty of Fish.
So we have 8 teams that make the playoffs. No pads, no helmets. Just miss out. Because Speed Academy has the head-to-head break against them, so they both finished 4-6. I know pads have the better points against, but when they played each other in the regular season, Speed Academy ended up beating no pads. So sometimes when you lose some of those games and you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter, or we'll get the next one. In this situation, no pads. If you guys end up winning that game, you guys will, and your record would have been better. But I didn't. If you guys won that game, lost another game, you guys would have been 4-6, tied with them. But you guys would have the tie break against them because head to head, and you guys would be in the playoffs. Unfortunately, now you're not in the playoffs, so it is what it is. So we have 8 teams. I believe there's no buys, which is great to see. No, you don't get rewarded for finishing 9-1. Yeah. So unfortunately for the rookies and Plenty of Fish, I mean, congratulations on finishing the 1 and 2 seed. You do get to play a easier matchup, I guess you would say. I feel like Co-Ed 2 is kind of stacked, where a lot of the teams are just pretty much good. So it's not like the easiest thing. It's kind of like it's like Division B, where like I think everyone is good. So I mean, like, it kind of sucks that you don't get that privilege of the number 1 bye seed. You don't get as finishing number 1 or 2, you don't get a bye. You end up having to play it out. But I mean, the rookies end up playing Speed Academy, so that's gonna be the number 1 matchup. 2-7 versus Plenty of Fish versus Easy Fun. That should be very interesting because Easy Fun is also a team that kind of dropped down. They've been playing in Co-Ed 1 as well too. They kind of made the same drop as Plenty of Fish. And it's kind of funny how those 2 teams are playing versus each other in the first round. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Then you have Double Dip versus Trouble in Paradise. Again, Trouble in Paradise is a new team. Double Dip is a good. They're known as their co-ed team, so I'm not surprised that they finished the season 7-3 and making a championship push. And then we have Block Party versus Ben's team.
Leprechauns.
Yeah, this is actually Benecron. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is kind of a funny name. If you're looking at let's kind of go down to the 1-8. Who do you have winning these games?
Oh, that's a good question. So okay, I think game of the week will be Easy Fun, Plenty of Fish. Again, 2 teams that are usually in Co-Ed 1 playing now in Co-Ed 2. I have Easy Fun getting the win. The rookies, I've seen the rookies. I have the rookies actually beating Speed Academy mix. I score kept the rookies the last couple of weeks. I'm really impressed by both the males and females, especially on this team. They have some really good ballers. Leprechauns and Block Party, I'm excited. Block Party, as we know, I'm always rooting for Block Party to get to the finals every season because let's be honest, the Persada's rocking when you're there. So I think Leprechauns might be the better team, but actually, you know what? Block Party has some championship experience. Pardon me. I'm gonna go with Block Party here. Block Party actually finished with a better record too. Well, actually no, 7-3, pretty even actually. Block Party has a way better defense. Leprechauns have a way better offense. I think defense wins championships. So I'm going with Block Party and Trouble in Paradise and Double Dip. I think this is going to be a really good game. I've seen Double Dip play a lot the last couple seasons. I am going to go with Double Dip to get the victory over Trouble in Paradise, who finished 5-5, whereas Double Dip finished 7-3. Right? They finished just out of first by 2 games. So yeah, I'm going to go with Double Dip here.
Okay, interesting. I would go the same thing. I think Block Party. It depends who's rushing Ben in that game. I think that's gonna be a big. I think that's gonna be a big factor. But
maybe Yvonne. Maybe
it should be Yvonne. To be honest, it should be him. But again, he's a great defender as well too. So maybe he's gonna want to play defense. Maybe he'll rush and play the 3 spot. Kind of mix it up a bit. But I think it's gonna be very interesting. I mean, again, to be honest with you, Co-Ed 2 is stacked. It's gonna like if like I'm not gonna be surprised if any of these teams win a championship. I'm not gonna be like, oh my, maybe it's Speed Academy just because they're kind of new, but again, they have pretty good players. But I'm not gonna be surprised anybody else but Speed Academy. I won't be like, oh, like that's crazy that this team that day one quad too. I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. That. So I feel like it's well balanced. Yeah, we do have the top of the teams, but I feel like a lot of the teams are balanced, and anybody can lose at any single day.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that speaks to the parity, right, of this division and FPF as a whole. So it's all good. All right, so let's go to co-ed one here to wrap things up. Yeah, so looking at the standings, obviously Lee Wu's in first, Tea Party second, Merge third, Lego My Flag fourth, and the mismatch sit in fifth. Top so seeds 1 through 3 have a bye. So first round matchup will be Lego My Flag against 3-7 record as the fourth seed, as you know, against the mismatch again the fifth seed also with a 3-7 record in the regular season. Yeah, I expect a good game out of both these teams. I'm trying to find the regular season head-to-head series, but of course the website's not working properly. I'm gonna lean though with Lego My Flag, do the veteran squad. They have more players that have won a championship as well in FPF, so I want to go with them here. And yeah, obviously I think I know who you're siding with, but is there anything you want to say?
Oh, towards the matchup. Yeah, I'm gonna go towards my team, like my flag.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our roster hasn't been consistent, so that's the reason why we're 3-7, and we just lost stupid games as well too. But I think we're better than mismatch. Last time we played against them, it was in Brawl Stars, and I ended up getting head top by Joyce. So hopefully she's not there, or hopefully it doesn't happen again, because I think that's one of what's. I think I'll be fine. I think I'd rather not get head top again. I think Gigi head top me this year. Joyce head top me this year. I ended up playing Division D1, and some other kid did it as well too. So I think 3 times is more than enough for me this year. I know this season I'm fine with it. And then towards, I guess we have Tea Party in the merge, right? They're gonna be playing. We know that matchup is happening no matter what. So I think that's gonna be interesting matchup. Tea Party, if you're looking at their offense, they scored 417 points this year. So that's a very scary team to play against. I mean, when Ben's hot, he's hot. The roster is, I wouldn't say they're the greatest roster. They're missing height. That's one thing, they're missing height, but the merge doesn't have height as well either. So I think that should be a good matchup between the two. I don't exactly remember. I think we play our matchup on Sunday, and I think it's, so I play on this Sunday or this Saturday. Oh no, this Sunday I play versus the mismatch, and then they don't have the time schedule yet. But during semifinals, I think it's Tuesday. I think it's gonna be the Tuesday. So you play the quarters on Sunday, and then the Tuesday is going to be the semifinals between the 4 remaining teams in. And I'm going to say it's probably the Lee Woos versus Lego My Flag, and then it's going to be Tea Party versus the Merge. So that's going to be an interesting 2 teams to play against. Well, it's going to be interesting 2 teams playing against. And again, I mean, I think Lewu was probably one of the best teams, but the fact that they just lost 2 of their players, and their quarterback situation too. I mean, now I think anyone could kind of win this division, and anyone could kind of be a championship. I would give it to the Merge if I had to pick a team to win it all, even though like they're going to be like, it's biased versus like, because I'm in the league too. But I think the Merge, I mean, if they're not going to win 5v5, I think they have a good chance to win 6v6.
Okay. Sorry, it did finally come on my screen against you guys in the mismatch. You guys swept them 54-30 week 1, and then you guys won the rematch 32-30, much closer rematch in week 9. So again, I think you guys will be able to pull off the 3 wins. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. I can tell you that, right? So I think that could go either way. But again, I still think I'm leaning towards you guys to get the win. Again, looking at your team, you guys have the better roster. Then they have, no disrespect to Alex and Litsky. Also, so Giovanni Antonacci, one of the players on the mismatch, he told me he broke his ankle, actually. So
Who? Sorry? Oh yeah, he was telling me he's missing him. Yeah, he was telling me. Yeah. I think
Yeah, I mean, and that's that's a guy with size. That's a big red zone threat. He's played on my. He's a leading receiver actually, 387 yards and 9 TDs, and only 7 games played. Right, so he broke his ankle recently, so he's definitely not playing. So then it's going to be Eric Nams, Cliff Solon, Joy Janice. Yeah, I've seen you play against these guys before. Melissa Maleta, obviously, she has an injury as well. I think she told me she should be good to go, but she's not healthy either, right? So it's going to be like Gabrielle Poisson's going to have to step up, Gabrielle Fortin, among others, right? Heidi Garneau. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards you guys to knock off the mismatch for the third
yeah,
time.
they're definitely going to need all their players to step up if they want to win that game. Because again, we're there. I mean, Jeff's Jeff, but roster wise, I think we have more. I think we're just a better roster than them. And the fact that they lost one of their best players, I mean, they're gonna need their players to step up. Before we kind of leave, I just want to say a few things. Team Canada, the men and women, they start their tournament tomorrow, I believe. One thing that's interesting fact before we kind of get to that. Nigeria had a team that was signed up, ready to go, but unfortunately for them, their visas didn't get finished in time, so they weren't able to travel. So their visa travel documents were delayed. So the team couldn't travel to Germany. So they had to.
That's not great. Yeah, that's crappy.
Yeah, it sucks. They had to forfeit one of their games, and the men's team, Canada's team, was playing against them. I think it was their third matchup. They're going to play against them in that tournament. So it's round robin first. So they pretty much got an automatic win. So it's kind of sucks the fact that they're only for Team Canada. Great, you guys get that easy point, so you guys get that 2 points. But it's one less game that they're going to play against, and then they're after round robin, they're going to have to see what they're going to play versus in the quarters and then semis and finals. But again, just kind of good luck to all the athletes kind of that are going to be partaking in that. We have a bunch of FPF women and men. I think we have at least maybe men. We probably have maybe 5 or 6 that play in FPF, and then women's as well. We probably have maybe 10 or 11 that are usually playing as well all the time. Again, we have the starting quarterback Sarah Parker that's going to be partaking there. We kind of have there's a bunch of videos, whatever. You can watch all the broadcasting on YouTube. I think Prime, DAZN. So it's going to be pretty much shown everywhere. And I think one thing I do have to say, which I like now than that I didn't like before, is that we kind of know all the players, are a good amount of players, so it's so much more interesting to watch now than it was before, just because you kind of know who you're watching and like who you're rooting for, compared to before. You're just like, who's that? Now you're like, oh, I've seen that girl play 2 weeks ago, or I know that girl, or here. Like now you have so much more familiar faces to kind of look at.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Football Canada and a lot of the players have their own Instagram accounts and social media. So like before, it's a lot of the Team USA players who you'd hear about, and you would see NFL games and that playing against each other. But now you're seeing obviously Team Canada, FPF does a lot with that, obviously, especially with the Team Canada guys and girls. So yeah, the sport is growing, right, and rightfully so. And this is why you're seeing more players and just more people involved and engage in flag football. I just want to say, don't forget, fall registration for the fall season is still open. It's not too late to register. Go on there, register yourself as an individual or register your team. Get in there. The deadline is approaching soon, so make sure don't wait too much longer, right? The spots are filling up quickly. So again, fall registration is open. Don't forget also we have a road show, right? Brought to you by our main man, Ali Reza. Next Sunday, August 22nd and 23rd at Brassard. So finals championship weekend. Quaysie and I will both be there calling a ton of games from 5v5 format to 6v6. There's men's, there's women's, co-ed, you name it. We'll be there calling a lot of games. So come check us out and watch it on YouTube, of course, on the FlagPlus Football channel. You'll see a lot of highlights as well on our Instagram channel. So don't forget, again, the road show coming up August 22nd and 23rd. That's next Saturday and Sunday in Brassard. Make sure to check that out.
We'll definitely be talking about it next week, promoting it. Again, you'll probably hear about this. Again, we're talking about it. If you don't play, just come and watch. It's great flag football. It's great football in general. Good time, and the games are always good. And it's if you're not, again, it's going to be on YouTube where you get to watch it live or live stream on Facebook. Brent, I have one last question for you, which is kind of funny. If one of your let's just say on commission, right? If one of your players told you they had a dentist appointment and they missed one of your playoff games, what would you say about that?
For the dentist?
Dentist appointment.
I mean, I had one last week actually. I had to fix a chipped tooth. I mean, that's not important unless you have to get a root canal or major dental surgery. Then fine. Like, we're like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain. I can barely drink water. Nah, yeah, fine. Other than that, it's not an excuse. The dentist will be there on a Monday, right? Or it's a Tuesday, whatever day after the game, right? Yeah, tough it up.
Okay, so like for you, that's a no for you. Like you're like, nah, bro, you gotta come to the game. You gotta, especially playoffs. You gotta come to the playoffs.
Yeah, 100% for play. What, has someone used that on one of your teams?
No, just like I'm thinking about excuses people sometimes do. Right? Sometimes I see excuses. I'm just like, that's not an excuse. Like that's not an excuse to miss a playoff game. You know, like at the end of the day. But
and speaking of playoffs, I want to say, guys, get there early. Please get there early. Like, it's everyone's trying to get these games started on time. Don't make the referees or the scorekeepers wait, or your own teammates wait. Get there on time. Get there at least 15 minutes early. You got to stretch. You got to talk over game plans, so on and so forth. Get there early. Make sure your mind is right and all that. Like I said, again, if you have someone that needs to be sub for, just get someone with that rating is within 5 points of yours. It doesn't matter if they played a single game for your team. If you have an injured player on the team and you know they're not coming back, get someone in to sub for them. Contact the league right away, get that doctors knowing, and get the ball rolling, right? I know there's no game tonight, but we're back in action Friday night, right? So, and obviously this weekend too.
And this only
says we have time. Sorry,
this only can be done before playoffs start. So if you can't do this after,
right. Do this after. Oh, so some divisions haven't started playoffs yet.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, for some divisions you're fine. Yeah.
Get it done. Yeah. Ali Reza says we're good for time. So I know he's going to see Spider-Man. Saw it on Saturday, like I said, not bad. Quickly, player spotlight: Nick DeMalo for Void Intermediate. Ray Mason, Women's B Supernova. We have Jeremy Steinberg. Shout out to him for Co-Ed 1 for Tea Party. We have Jay LaFay, the Originals Women's B. I scored kept that game. She was on fire. Devin Kreutzer, we talked about him earlier, quarterback for the Stables in E2. We have Alexi Galarno, also from the Originals and Women's B. Olivier Joly, fantastic player actually for Division A with the Vultures. We have Emmanuel Brassard, Blue Paw, Women's A. Sam Doyon from Division D1 with the Black Vipers, the team we talked about earlier. Victoria De Loretto from Blue Pod as well, Women's A. Antoine Delaval from Division E2, still in short. And we wrap up the player spotlight this week with Simon Girard from the Bandits, you talked about earlier, dangerous team in Division D2. So those are your players for this week's, for week 10 of the player spotlight in FlagPlus Football.
Cool.
All right. That'll do it. Ali wants to get out of here. So do we. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good luck to everybody in their playoff matchups this week and this weekend. And obviously, we're going to be filming in the middle of next week. So we'll see you next week. And again, good luck to everybody in their playoff games. And don't forget, like I said, Road Show coming up August 22nd and 23rd, next Saturday and Sunday in Broussard. Ali Reza is going to put everything together. He does a fantastic job. So come and say thank you to Ali if you want for this podcast and for all the technical stuff, all the important stuff that goes on here in FPF. He's Quaysie. I'm Brent. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.